Here we are. Hello, everyone.
Hey now.
We're getting a quick ride from America Chavez to drop us off at our locations.
We need a star-shaped
star wipe
viewer. Yeah, star wipe. Yeah.
How's everybody doing?
Oh, pretty good.
Josh, how are your baskets? How many did you get done?
I got half of one done. I suck.
What?
But I know. But here's the thing. I was competing against my wife and daughter, who each made Jen's on her fourth basket. Hazel made 2 baskets. I mean, they are digging it. So yeah.
Okay.
It hit during finals week. I was my homework was to work on my basket, and I'm I got to grade finals and submit grades. So I couldn't do it.
Well, in the apocalypse, when everybody has a basket but you.
I know exactly. And how did you die? I couldn't finish my basket. So
great. Welcome everyone. Today we will be talking about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness with full spoilers. So if you haven't watched the movie by now, I'm sorry. We have to talk about it. So here's your spoiler alert. And well, as I say that, we have our fourth. Hey, Kyle, how you doing?
Hey,
it's Earth 616 Kyle.
Yeah,
it is.
I think America Chavez missed a stop, and then just Kyle had to get there on his own. So we'll be talking about Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. Full spoilers for the.
Probably going to bow out. Then I still haven't watched it.
Oh.
I don't have the time to watch the media stuff, guys. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
It's okay, man.
I've got too much shit going on, and I've also been dealing with just health issues. So I just don't have time to sit down and.
Oh shit!
Well, then let's do this.
Yeah. I think I'm hopefully getting better, but right now, I hate to say, just watching this stuff is my priority has been rewatching Parks and Rec while I'm working just to keep me sane.
Yeah,
that's smart. And it's funny, I almost played the Parks and Rec intro.
I was hoping I'd jump in. Maybe I could have got you to do
that. But I did The Office, which is very cool.
You did The Office. Yeah, it's like the sister.
I was
show,
never a fan of The Office. Could not get into it.
Oh my goodness.
Huh. I could watch the BBC version, but I could not do the American. I could never stomach it.
There you go. Thank you, G.
I love both. I love both for their cringe factors and for the things that they.
It wasn't bad. The cast never grabbed me. I was instant. I was instant grab on Parks and Rec, Community, and stuff like that. But Office, I don't know. I was never a huge Steve Carell fan.
Oh man, to me, there's a handful of just great TV scenes from the Office, like the Bill Buttlicker training episode. That's one of my favorites.
Well, and I'm starting to wonder. I have this weird association of being able to go back years later after the shows have already been aired and have already had their popularity, and then watching it. It was in the last 2 months. I went and actually binged all of Friends, and even though I wouldn't put it as anywhere in my top favorite TV shows. I can appreciate the show now for what people saw in it in the past decades. So
it's more of a footnote of time, that's neat to watch because it just kind of encapsulates that time period very well.
Well, and and it's funny. I associate Friends with comics because I was working at a comic store,
and I get that.
Yeah, and we had to close Thursday nights, but it was on. So our manager, sweetest thing ever, is he recorded the Thursday night block for us. And so afterwards, me and my buddy Dave, who had to close, would go to his house and we'd order pizza and watch that night show so we didn't miss stuff. It was wonderful. Yeah, it was great. Shout out to Rick. Thanks, Rick.
Here's what we'll do. We'll flip the format.
Well,
let's go.
Maybe I'll stand.
Because that way, if you wanna drop.
Yeah, let's talk about.
Second half, Kyle. We could do everything up front.
I know what happens. You know me. I've already read the wiki. I don't care about spoilers. So
all right. Well, now let's get into it. So here's your warning once again. We're gonna spoil everything and more than you wanted spoiled from Multiverse of Madness.
I think we should start calling our spoiler warning the blue spaghetti warning.
Yeah. Oh boy. I'll get a gift. We'll get a gift going.
Why?
Because we'll get into it.
Yeah.
Let's start at the top. So Clay, Josh, let's just overall, how did you like the movie overall?
I thought it was just a blast. It was a lot darker, more fun. I mean, but you're really dealing with some serious issues of what Scarlet Witch is gone, or I guess you want to differentiate between Wanda and Scarlet Witch, because it seems like Scarlet Witch is more like the Phoenix power in this, that it's a thing that kind of takes her over and suppresses her. So I guess the way that they're kind of explaining it's neat to kind of go through and see. And now that they're showing how powerful this Scarlet Witch is, I definitely want to see how powerful she is against the Phoenix Force.
Oh yeah. I think it's the corruption of the Darkhold, right?
Yeah.
So,
No, it was funny. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I walked out of the theater and my first thought was, okay, supposedly the backstory about why the original director left was because he wanted to make it too horrific. And we got this, which is, this was straight up horror. And I loved it. I was all there for it.
Been like, it's more the question.
Exactly. Right. I mean, this felt like a Raimi film. The pacing was relentless. Like, I think afterwards I walked out thinking there is hardly any downtime in this movie. And usually that will rub me the wrong way, because I need this kind of like wave pacing, so I feel like characters are growing. Somehow Raimi and the writers and the actors are able to pull off a movie that just doesn't let up without feeling like they're skipping character progression, right? It was a really, really good just a really good synthesis. And it felt like, now I haven't seen Eternals yet, but it felt like, for me at least, the first Marvel movie that didn't conform to the Marvel format and was better for it. And I've been seeing reports online, people like, oh, audiences don't like this. I'm like, dude, let more and more directors do this, because it's about time. And I'll talk more about the score later, because I have an overarching theory about scores. But
not just No Way Home, but it's this film that's breaking its way to realize, hey, there's more out there than just the MCU. Like, we now officially have the Fantastic Four at least in a part of the MCU, so we know they're out there. We have the X-Men in the MCU, so those characters are out there. So we now opened up this universe into a bigger world to realize, hey, now we can do crossovers in the way we've been wanting to do for the last 15 years.
And it is ballsy. I just want to say it is ballsy for them within the span of about 15 minutes to introduce all these other franchises and then murder them one by one. I mean, I was like, holy crap, what is happening right now?
Yeah, it was way more fun. Like, the only other time I remember them in any kind of comic book universe introducing characters than murdering them is Wolverine Origins. They introduced so many characters into that, and they're almost all dead by the end. And they're very useless.
I like to put forward Deadpool 2 and the introduction of the X-Force.
Okay, that's a very good one.
That's a good one. Although that's very clearly used for comedic effect, but I agree.
This one's too funny as well. No, but I think it's hard to pick between the best cameo, because Brad Pitt showing up for as Vanisher for one frame. Yeah.
When you see his face and he's just being electrocuted, that's
everybody at the theater is like, was that Brad Pitt? Did I just see Brad Pitt?
I will say this Doctor Strange felt like Captain America 2 in the sense that, like, the first movie was the origin movie. It laid the foundation. The second movie is not what we expected.
No.
And that's the thing, is like, it starts off action packed and just keeps going. And that's not what I expect from a Doctor Strange film.
Nonstop.
And I loved it.
Nonstop. I really like that too. I'm a big Raimi fan, and I really like horror. And I think if my feelings after the film was like, if we can't get Raimi to come back and do another Doctor Strange film, which I hope we can, get another horror director, and then you just have, like, Doctor Strange is always like directed by a horror director, right? Scott Derrickson, like, he's also one of my favorite horror directors. I love The Exorcism of Emily Rose, Sinister. Like, those are really, really fun, but like they're scary movies for sure. And Sam Raimi brings his own too. I mean, look, if you've seen the Evil Dead movies, like, all those angles, all the little shots, all the little, like, practical effects. I think if I had to name, like, a top horror moment, it would be Wanda she's coming out of that mirror in Summertage.
Oh, it's like God. Full on The Ring.
It really is. It really is.
I think I was very true. I think for me, the most horrific moment was when she is chasing them down that tunnel, and they just stop, and you get this long extended sequence of just them just waiting for her to burst through the door. I mean, that was like mwah, like just pitch perfect, like psychological horror, right?
So,
it's not gruesome. It's building up tension.
Funny you mentioned that. So I usually check like what time they recommend for you to go to the restroom.
Yeah.
That was one of the scenes. Like it says, as soon as they start running, like from here, you can go, and then it concludes with them being at the tunnel. I've watched the movie twice, so I've seen that scene as well now. The mirror part really cool.
I will tell you a funny story, because I would argue that I could not find a moment to go use the bathroom. And so I chose the moment when Steven goes to visit Wanda for the first time in the Grove. And I'm like, I've seen this in the trailer. I'll just run real quick. And I come back and the world's all red and she's in her Scarlet Witch outfit and she's saying the iconic line of, "That doesn't seem fair." And I sit down and turn to my daughter. I'm like, "What the hell did I just miss?" She's like, "You missed a lot." I'm like, "God damn it. Like, where do I go to the bathroom?"
Have you found out what you missed?
She told me. Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's also pretty early into. I feel like you should have gone to the restroom before the movie if you're gonna go that early, Josh.
I have a tiny bladder. I just drank a lot of water, so
I do want to. I have a quick clip because we have our buddy Gren Reaper in the chat. They actually sent in a video of what they thought of the movie. So let's play that while we're talking about.
Nice.
Sup, Gren Reaper here. So, Doctor Strange. I liked it a lot. It was very fun. There was a lot of fun references to Raimi's stuff. Like a whole part of it was just basically a love letter to Evil Dead, which was really silly. It was really silly, but like I enjoyed watching it. And Elizabeth Olsen needs to play more villains because holy shit, she was amazing. So yeah, all in all, I thought it was great.
All right, thanks, Gren Reaper. Yeah, I put out a call on Twitter and stuff to send some videos in, and so yeah, I mean that's a good points overall. Like I said, yeah, a lot of Evil Dead. I've always been a big fan of Raimi in that Spider-Man 2 scene in the hospital where they're trying to, like, the one horror scene in that movie, right, where they're trying to get the arms off of Dr. Octopus.
And I think it's beneficial. Like, we're going to get a Scarlet Witch, either movie or series, based on. I think they've already kind of gone through and said that like they want to do like another project with her, so she's not dead, or at least not the complete version's dead.
Yeah,
there's some version of her exists.
Yeah, Leonard came in the chat. Even though Leonard doesn't like horror, still love the movie. So it's a wide appeal because it's just I think it's a very well made movie. No, probably not, but.
I'm going to throw something in here. Like I've said, I'm not a huge horror fan, but it does not mean I don't mind a horror aspect being thrown into a certain genre of film.
Yeah, I
don't mind that.
Yeah. Well, so how about this? I to your point earlier, Daniel, about bringing back Raimi. I was reading reports that Raimi was really nervous to make this because he felt like Spider-Man 3 was such a failure and there was so much studio intervention. And so, coming back to this genre and being able to kind of flex his muscles and do what he does best, which he did, I would argue, let's give him Fantastic Four. Because I think one of the things that Raimi does well, and he proved this with the Spider-Man 1 and 2, is he does really well with kind of like a very human focused superhero. And one of the only thing I kind of dug about that terrible Trank Fantastic Four was the body horror aspect of it. So if you could bring him in to like kind of take that little nugget, give us a very human. He's already worked with Krasinski, right? Like, let's get him to do FF, since I know that what's his face has stepped down. So
rumor is, and this is again, nothing's been confirmed, but there's been a lot of speculation and talk that they're looking to bring in Dallas Bryce Howard as the director of the film and actually bring Krasinski in as producer and actually possibly have them both play Reed and Sue.
Oh, wow. That'd be pretty cool.
Josh, G does not agree with your pitch.
Yeah, that's all right. I don't do that to Sue.
Sue needs to be treated better, for sure.
What's wrong with Dallas Bryce Howard as Sue?
Yeah. But
I think she would be a great Sue. I mean, she's a better director. I love all the Star Wars stuff she's done.
Okay, I get it. She was talking about Raimi. Okay.
Yeah, a female human woman are hard to write.
And that's what would make her invisible if Sam Raimi wrote it.
Oh, smack.
Kevin Feige is listening in his office at our podcast right now, like taking down notes furiously.
Taking down notes.
You guys are gonna see some executive producer credits with our names on them.
He first wrote Raimi equals FF question mark, and then he saw
Yeah.
G's comedy scratches through. Like, no, that's a terrible idea. Yeah.
All right, I want to skip ahead a little bit, and I don't want to skip ahead too much, but I feel like we have to talk about the Illuminati scene because I think that's what it's such a it's like it feels like one of those moments where like we all think it's gonna happen, like we all kind of feel like it's gonna happen, right? We saw the trailer, we heard the voice from Xavier. If we've been reading comic books long enough to know like what group is Xavier a part of, right? Like it was just more about filling in those seats, like who's gonna be in those chairs.
But you could hear the music when they introed him.
Yeah.
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh that X-Men 90s
Yeah.
Da-da-da.
Now, I just want to thank you guys for bringing up, because again, I'd never heard of the Illuminati. I didn't know there were comics.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So having read those a little bit before I went in, I was much better prepared for that moment.
Yeah.
So
Now
I've read rumors.
Oh, sorry, I was just gonna say they left out Namor and Black Panther
and Iron
probably
Man.
both for pretty obvious reasons, right? I think Namor is going to be a bigger part of the MCU, and then unfortunately, Chadwick Boseman passed away, and they really haven't revealed anything about what they're going to do with the Black Panther property. But everyone else, I think we were pretty much expecting. But
no Iron Man.
No Iron Man either. No Tom Cruise as Superior Iron Man, which was a
Yeah.
disappointment to many, apparently.
Well, no,
He's too busy trying to get movies out from 2019 into theaters.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's a thought. Just because we have the multiverse open now, since we've had, what if we could get a multiverse? Wesley Snipes Black Panther. Doesn't it be a full film, but it just have him make an appearance. As
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Oh
You
my
can
God.
really do cameos of whatever you want now.
I know, but now that we can do this,
I will say here's what I really dug about that is that what they ended up doing, which I thought was very smart, was they made the MCU's Illuminati. So we got Black Bolt, which that was a total shock to me. I did not think he was going to. I thought they just wanted to sweep that under the rug. Yeah,
that's the original actor who played Black Bolt from the TV series. But
yeah, exactly. And then we got Captain Carter, which, man, seeing her in costume, I was so excited. Excited.
When they're not making a project based on it, maybe either be a movie or a TV series from Disney Plus.
Oh, God.
So
good.
Having Captain Carter say the line that I could do this all day, but like with her own delivery, I think it was great. Like I geeked out at that moment because I was like, that's the line, but it doesn't sound like Cap would say it, right?
Right,
it sounds
right.
like he really made it her own line. So it's really cool.
I've heard rumors about Captain Britain showing up and the casting for that.
Which would be who?
Henry Cavill, my opinion. That's my opinion.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a blonde dude, but it could work. I mean,
he finally gets to do his
hair. Dye the hair.
Oh, don't dye the hair. I hate dyed blonde hair on dark-haired people.
He's got to be a blonde. Brian has to.
He doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
He just needs to be British and badass.
Exactly. I mean, just give me Henry Cavill with his natural accent, and I'll be all right. I mean, the dude.
He's got the physique for it.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So I have to ask Clay this. Yeah. I have to ask Clay this because Shelby posted a photo of you watching it, looking shocked, and I said, I wonder if it's the same moment I did that. Was it when Krasinski showed up as Mr. Fantastic? Me too.
I just sat there. If you saw, my wife tweeted me just sitting on the edge of my seat with my mouth open the entire Illuminati scene, just watching Black Bolt and Reed and the Illuminati and Captain Marvel, and then them all fight and then them all die. Just all that whole scene. I'm just like watching it unfold. But the blue spaghetti reference is what is reference to.
Spaghetti. Now I get it. Okay.
Yeah, is what Scarlet Witch does to Reed.
Yeah.
And I've read some notes also that the 616 Illuminati is starting to gather, just based on things that have been said, specifically in Shang-Chi, where it's Banner and Captain Marvel and Wong have gathered to talk about things. They've put those three together. that may be the beginning of the 616 Illuminati, which would keep Mark Ruffalo around for a lot longer. I know he's going to be in She-Hulk, so that's very
I
cool.
want to talk about that.
But yeah, pulling together the 616 Illuminati and then making Banner part of it seems interesting because he's got control of it. But if he ever loses control, what would the Illuminati do? Would we have a World War Hulk again?
Yeah, Hulk is is a big reason why the Illuminati had to kind of come together.
Right.
He's not the first. He's not the original reason, but he's one of the reasons they had to come back.
He's the reason that basically the Illuminati. Well, no, I take it back. He's not the main reason they came together. They're like the big reason they would have been around longer than that, but they were the big reason that basically made them known to the MCU. After they shot him into space and he comes back, and again, World War Earth. He's like trying to exact revenge on them all, and that's when they're like, "Oh yeah, we've been kind of pulling the strings behind the."
Yeah. Right now the most powerful beings are who?
Captain Marvel, Hulk. Technically, Doctor Strange still. It's just Wong's kind of doing his own little thing.
Wong technically is the Sorcerer Supreme.
He's the Sorcerer Supreme.
I know he doesn't. So Wong. Let's talk about Wong because Wong is having a moment. He was in Shang-Chi. He will maybe be in She-Hulk because last time we saw him, he was hanging out with Abomination in Shang-Chi. He's in this movie, so like. It feels like he's the connecting thread between all these things that are being set up in Fate. I'm surprised he didn't show up in Moon Knight. Sorry, slight spoiler, Josh. No Wong.
No Wong.
But
he's my favorite.
Yeah, he's so great too. Benedict
He's
Wong.
awesome.
Yeah, he's great in the role. And yeah, he's been around like for pretty much all the important stuff of the MCU so far. And he's like the constant now. It almost feels that way. So I think he would be part of the Illuminati, where we able to get it.
I mean, he is in the MCU. He is the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it would make sense that he would be picked.
Why do you put him as Sorcerer Supreme? I mean, Strange is there, and Strange is now becoming more powerful now.
But I mean, that's
when Strange disappeared.
The MCU.
Yeah, that was
right. Because Doctor Strange he fucked off to do something else, and well, I guess. It's not his fault Thanos snapped him. Yeah, because Thanos snapped him.
Yeah, he snapped him. So when he came back, Wong was Sorcerer Supreme, which I think is a brilliant move.
They were both gone with a snap. Neither one was around during the snap. Wong disappeared. If I remember correctly, Wong also supposed to have disappeared too. I don't think he was around for that 5 years.
Chat, let us know. Did Wong get snapped?
They don't ever show him disappear, and they explain that he.
But we don't ever see him there either. There's never mentioned what in the 5 years is there a mention of a Sorcerer Supreme doing magic.
Well, I mean, he's
doing No Way Home. In No Way Home, they explain it.
Because
that's why he's Sorcerer Supreme.
Oh,
yeah, because he was gone for 5 years, so he said that that's how he took over.
That's a bold bet. G in the chat. I bet you 50.
Actually, I'm willing to go with it. I'm willing to go with that, but we don't see the Illuminati.
That'd be pretty funny. Like. Kevin Feige is like, I gave you what you wanted, now leave me alone.
I gave them to you.
I want the Great Lake Avengers.
Quick Google search. Yeah, Wong survived the snap, and as a result, he became the Sorcerer Supreme.
Well, you want to talk about the 5 years? You also heard that, like they've already mentioned, secret invasion is going to happen during that 5 years period.
Yeah. Right. That's kind of exciting to see, and how it's weird that we're hearing Secret Invasion. I'm hearing Secret Wars talked about.
Yeah.
And Secret Wars seems like the hardest and weirdest one to pull off, but that could give us.
Means Fury is going to be the Skrull. He's not going to be Fury himself.
Maybe.
But he was snapped at the end of he's snapped at the end of Infinity War.
Yeah,
but he's in Secret Wars. He's in space. Yeah.
No, but I'm talking about Secret Invasion. He's one of the main members of Secret Invasion, but it's Skrull.
Yeah. Let's veer back to the actual movie, and then we'll say our theory. I mean, look, we're gonna have plenty of weeks and months to talk about theories for sure. And yeah, we still haven't touched on the incursions, which is also a big part of Secret Wars that Jonathan Hickman set up. But we can definitely discuss.
Oh God, please! I would take the original Secret Wars over Hickman's. I'm sorry.
Bring the Beyonder in.
Hey! I'm not. That's a backhanded compliment for me. Just bear in mind. So,
the thing I keep thinking about with Hickman's Secret Wars, it had all these spinoffs that were kind of cool. Planet Hulk and things like that you could do standalone. But would they ever do like a standalone movie that just had random characters playing similar versions of the characters they play in the MCU doing stuff? That just doesn't seem like a
Yeah,
big
I
money
don't
maker.
know.
That just seems
Yeah,
like
I think
I look at all the spinoffs from Secret Wars and all the different titles they put together, and it just doesn't seem like it would make sense for them to play out that battle world scenario.
it's a long way off because there is no Doctor Doom in the MCU, right? Until you get a Doctor Doom, we're not going to be able to get. We should. Well, I'll say this: we might, but we shouldn't until we get a Doctor Doom, and that's just me
Yeah.
being a comics purist.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Best fucking villain ever.
Yeah.
Okay, but is Doctor Doom a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3? I mean, like I'm thinking of a Doctor Doom as a Thanos level villain, but I also think that if you're introducing Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four, you also have Galactus, Annihilus. You have other bigger things.
I have a theory. And the theory is the Fantastic Four movie is going to tie into the Kang is the big bad for this series, right? And at the end, it's going to introduce Doctor Doom.
Well, somebody mentioned, I don't know, I didn't see this, but somebody mentioned that apparently in the movie and with the Illuminati, that Reed is using some kind of device that Kang was using in Loki, and that's interesting because they're related. If you think about it, Kang and Reed are related to the multiverse throughout the whole thing.
Right,
so.
right. No, it's like he's the. I read somewhere, and those of you who've seen it more than once, correct me. But I read somewhere that like the door that he enters into is a different colored door from the orange ones in Loki, right? That the time agency uses.
Oh, I see.
The
Yeah,
TVA.
because the little thing that materializes them or whatever.
Yeah.
Now,
So is there different color time travel?
Makes
The
you
way
wonder.
there's different color magic and different color Infinity Stones?
Makes you wonder.
maybe depending on maybe one's time related, one's just space related, right?
One's multiverse related?
I've seen enough Doctor Who to know that you can wrap that into one thing. So so all right, so I've got two quibbles about the movie.
Sure,
if I may.
Quibble.
Okay. One quibble is very minor, one quibble is very big. The minor quibble is, why do you go to such lengths to set up this movie in No Way Home and then not use that movie to set up Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness? It seemed totally bizarre to me. Like, you have a perfect setup for this movie where Doctor Strange did what he shouldn't have done and opened the multiverses, and then we go to this movie and it's just like, oh, that seemed to have happened in the past.
Yeah.
Well,
What the hell?
They announced we have Doctor Strange, Multiverse, and we have No Way Home because of Loki. Both those films are. They even said that this is all set up because of what Loki and she did in his series.
That's true. He's the first one to break the. He takes the Tesseract.
Yeah.
So all Strange did in No Way Home was kind of open the fact that, hey, now there is a multiverse. Now we're letting a little bit into our universe, and then it kind of gets expanded more in Doctor Strange. So everything's set up like Loki, and Loki even technically set up What If. We have What If because of Loki.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a good point. I guess it's just that the way that they narratively incorporate it into the movie is very much sort of just like a one sentence write-off. Like, excuse me. I don't know. It seemed weird to me.
We have an interesting question. Lego, shout out. Sylvia and Loki did Sylvia and Loki create the multiverse, or did it always exist? Because Loki seemed to assert that the beginning of the multiverse, but if it was, how do people dream before that? I think, and you guys can chime in. I think the multiverse always existed as far as this structure thing, but once the He Who Remains died and the TVA lost control, I think that TVA is only for our universe. And there's multiple TVAs throughout the multiverse. So once those branches started colliding,
that's what. Yeah, and that's where I got. From what I got is just say I'm going to go with Kang, but basically the MCU there's always been a multiverse, but they even mentioned in the first Doctor Strange. But what happened is I think Kang had basically sort of put like a wall or a bubble around our universe, and after what happened with Loki and them killing Kang, the wall broke down and the multiverse started infecting our universe again. So now it's a part of this whole larger group of kind of, again, part of the actual Marvel lineage of storytelling.
But once again, Kevin Feige, we are available.
We have great ideas, Kevin Feige, except, again, my earlier idea about Sam Raimi directing Fantastic Four.
I want to take the supernatural world. I just want to control that and create an apocalyptic type event like Annihilation. Yeah. And tie everything together through that.
Maybe. I like these questions in the chat. Megan has really worked for it. Am I crazy to think that America Chavez could be? No, she could definitely become one of the more powerful.
She
I
is.
think so. I think so. Yeah.
Since we're quibbling, I'll use this Leonard Kim's question as a jumping off point. Look, I love America Chavez. I like the way I think Xochitl was great in the movie. I do wish at some points it does feel like America is just kind of a plot device as opposed to an actual character.
Yeah, but
So I wish,
and
and I
none of her
hope
powers I read about seem to even correlate to what she is like in the comic books. Like,
no,
isn't
the powers are pretty straightforward from the comics.
Yeah.
It's just the character. She was unfortunately she was more of like the just like the plot device of like, you know, this is what the bad guy's trying to get her powers and stuff. So hopefully in the future, because Leonard's right, I think she's one of the more powerful. Like the fact that she's the only America Chavez in all the multiverse. I think that's a really really cool
was it actually
thing.
mentioned in there in the movie?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because they post in the movie that when you dream, you're actually seeing other versions of you in the multiverse, but
Oh.
she doesn't dream. So that implies that she doesn't have a counterpart in the universe, in the multiverse, which is a really cool detail. I even like when the evil Doc Strange at the end says like, "You ever have that dream where you feel like you're getting pushed off a building?" Well, that was me killing
That's me,
other
yeah.
multiverse Stevens, which is insane. But yeah,
Well-
that's one of my quibbles too. That I feel like her character was not fully served, but it was nice to see her for sure. And I think, like I said, I think the actress did a fantastic job.
She was great. She was absolutely great. And I agree with you. She did kind of feel like, you know, the Chekhov's gun kind of thing. However, I could see. Okay, so again, I'm purely speculating here, but if Kang, as we get from Loki, if the TVA and Kang are obsessed with multiversal, you know, movement, right? Then she becomes the figure that Kang has to most get control of, right? So she becomes the reason the Young Avengers form, right?
Mhm.
They all need to work together to defeat Kang because Kang needs her, right?
That would make sense. I mean, that you have to see that. I think the other thing I'll mention just real quick about her, like I love that scene at the pizza shop where, first of all, how does the 616 Doc Strange not speak Spanish, but Wong does? That's great.
I know.
But yeah, she like, you know, she even calls him Estaway, which is like a very very casual thing for throw out there, but it was really cool. And then when they question about like, because nobody remembers who Peter Parker is anymore, right? They know about Spider-Man, but they don't know who Peter is. And they're like, he shoots webs, and she asks, does he shoot him out of his butt? And
I know, I love that.
And Steven, they're like, I don't know, I don't think so. I don't know. Like, but they don't for sure know, right? Because they don't know Peter, or they don't remember Peter. So that was great. And at the end, I think she's very smartly, like, I like her relationship overall with Doctor Strange, where they kind of developed this shorthand, and from the beginning they set up that Stephen Strange would do whatever he needed to, including killing America and taking her power to protect it from the evil. But then towards the end of the movie, that arc is fully realized, where Strange trusts her enough to like figure out that she can defeat Wanda on her own. So it was once again, like in the previous Doctor Strange movie, it was a non-violent fighting. It was like a not fight really to defeat the villain, like with Dormammu, right?
I love that as a callback, because again, that's what's true to the MCU's Doctor Strange, right? To that universe's character, is he won't always go to the logical extreme and do what's best for everyone versus, you know. So again, like in the first movie, he's sacrificing himself over and over again because he knows that's the one thing that will defeat Dormammu, right? And in this one, he's like, no, I'm not going to kill her because all she needs is control over her powers. And so let's unlock that.
Let me help her.
Theory that I was reading. Somebody was talking about how, like, and apparently from the first movie, that Dormammu is actually a variant of Strange who just kind of went all wacky and evil. But if you think about it, he plays Dormammu himself too in the actual movie.
So I hope not, for one reason only, and only one reason. So now that I'll wait for it. So this is really the biggest spoiler in the movie, I would say, only because it's something that nobody knew about. So at the end, in the first end credit scene, Clea shows up, played by
Yeah.
Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
Clea is Dormammu's daughter, if I remember correctly from the comics.
What?
And also is eventually her and Doctor Strange get married. They're romantic interest. So I would definitely not want Dormammu to be a variant of Doctor Strange and then Clea be his daughter, and then she hooks up with a different variant of her dad. So let's shut that theory down, right?
I didn't come up with it. This was just online.
That's like the worst place for Clay to hop back on.
Yeah, I was like, I usually will recommend those kinds
of
No.
I was saying there's been a theory that Dormammu may be a different variant of Strange who went evil. Because if you think about it, he plays Dormammu. Benedict plays Dormammu in the first film.
Yeah, he voices. Benedict Cumberbatch also voices. You know, he likes to do the big voices like Smog. Is it Smog?
Smog, yeah.
Smog. Good Omens. He does that too in Good Omens. All right, so here's my big quibble, and I really want to hear your guys' thoughts about this. My big quibble is I am still kind of torn on if they did Wanda wrong. Because if you think about where WandaVision ends, and it picks back up here.
How'd she go so crazy?
Yeah, I mean,
she's studying the Darkhold to find a way to get her kids, and they basically Doctor Strange walks up and says, "Here's a way to get your kids, but we're supposed to protect her." And she's like, "Nah, I'm going to use that as a weapon, or I'm going to use that to get what I want." Right. And so I don't. It's weird because it's Scarlet Witch driving her character more than
leaves New Jersey on a good note with Monica and everything, and then granted she's training with the book, but I mean, there's nothing to indicate that she's going down that really dark path.
Well,
and then Strange shows up, and then she's kind of like she just goes all insane. It's something. I almost feel like there's something there's got to be something has had to have happened.
I think the last scene definitely does, at least, even if it doesn't fully realize what Josh. I completely agree with you. I don't like. It's a big leap, but it at least does set up a platform at the end of WandaVision, that end credit scene where she's, I mean, we know she's a lot more powerful now because she's in her physical form, and also her astral form is going through the Darkhold. She does hear her kids, so now we know that she was just hearing, because the theories were like, oh, she can hear her kids from hell or whatever.
She says she dreams of them every night.
Right, and now we know why. Right now we know.
Okay, all right. See, I'd forgotten that that line.
I think there's enough there, which I love Scarlet Witch in the comics, and I love her here. Like, whether she's doing good stuff or bad stuff, like just her really. I mean, when she wrecked through all the Illuminati.
Oh man,
she wasn't even like fully powered Wanda, right? Because she's dream walking with this other Wanda, which that's probably the most messed up part that she did, right? That she took over a different Wanda from a different dimension, and used her as a vessel. That's probably the most fucked up thing. Although cutting Captain Carter in half, that's still pretty fucked up.
With the shield.
But it's classic Raimi, though, right?
Head caved
in. Thank you. Black Bolt blowing his own brains out is kind of disturbing.
Oh yeah. Black Bolt. I mean, that's on Reed Richards. Like, why you got to give away the secret weapon, homie?
Yeah, and he's supposed to be the smartest man in that universe, and he's just like, here's our secret weapon, his voice.
I think maybe the Illuminati didn't know how powerful Wanda could be, and that's the only reason I could think of, like, why they took her so. I guess what she caught them off guard so, like, by surprise so hard, because they didn't really know how powerful the 616 version of Wanda compared to the what is it, 832 or whatever?
838.
838.
Okay. Yeah.
Why is that embedded in my brain? I don't know, but somehow that
I can't remember how to do my taxes, but I fucking know
exactly. I will say, like, again, I've gone back and forth on all this, and I kind of forgotten some of the nuances at the end of WandaVision. I probably should have gone back and rewatched it before the movie.
But anybody that does see something, issues with that, like, I completely understand that. Like, it's not like they're just taking their own leap. Like, I think there's valid points to be made for either argument and how you kind of perceive the movie.
Well, I've kind of rectified it in my brain because I like to compartmentalize things. Is WandaVision is about her coming to terms with the grief around Vision, and it introduces her as a mother, And so this film is about her realizing she never really got to experience being a mother and knowing her kids are still alive. Because again, like throughout the whole movie, you're like, why is she not trying to get Vision back? Well, she's dealt with that, right?
Yeah,
now
maybe.
she's trying to get her kids back. So regardless of anything, I will firmly go on record now that Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda / Scarlet Witch is the best, most realized character in all the MCU. She is fantastic. And someone said in chat, yeah, give me more of her, because she is just, her arc playing that character is just brilliant and beautiful. It's so good.
Well, look at her range. She's able to pull off sitcom to just these horrific scenes of murder where you're just terrified of her, and all she's doing is looking at everyone, and then snaps Professor X's, your childhood cartoon icon, just snaps his neck in front of you. And
another one of my favorite scenes with her, when she's attacking the Camartage, and they're all holding up the shields, and then she realizes she can't just get in by force, and she starts looking through their minds, right? And Wong's like, strengthen your mind. They're like, really cool. And then Sam Raimi does this really good because he's a fantastic horror director. She just appears behind one of them and whispers, run. And that's it. Like, that's all she needed, right?
So good.
Just a little bit of doubt.
Amazing. Yeah, just amazing.
That's all it took.
And Wanda's great. And I do like that the battle with Xavier was more of a mental thing, but even then, like, it's still no match for her power. Just like, I don't know, like, I don't Wanda really, I think she may be the most powerful being in the MCU at the moment, like, that we've seen so far, at least Earth-based, maybe
until they introduce Franklin.
Right. Oh, and when she tells Frank, like, Richard's like, you have kids. And then he explains that he has a wife and a kids, and she's like, "Oh, good. At least your kids won't be left alone." And then
God, that was rough.
And then she just runs him through the strainer and just spaghetti everywhere.
I did read online really fun fact that Elizabeth Olsen never met any of the actors that play the Illuminati. That's why she was able to pass a lie detector test. That if she had ever met John Krasinski, and she literally said no. Okay, so we do have a comment from Legoland, which great to hear other points of view. I just hate how they did Wanda dirty. They could have told a very similar story without having her go bad. It wasn't essential. Sometimes the source material should be modernized. That's completely fair. I definitely agree with that.
I don't know if she's bad. I mean, she just is trying to get what she wants, and she points out to Doctor Strange, like, he messed with the timeline, he did, and he seemed as a hero. She's just trying to save 2 kids.
I think if she hadn't taken over a different Wanda, then I could agree more with your point. But yeah, I think taking somebody's agency in a different multiverse, it's pretty fucked up. Regardless,
and then killing 5 or 6 other people, and then that kind of crosses a boundary where you kind of go from being.
But we do see Professor X go into her mind. We see that Wanda is being suppressed and being put back into essentially what is her childhood trauma, so that the Scarlet Witch can control her body. I mean, she's under rubble and she can't get out, and he can't even pull her out. Or that was a neat setup by Scarlet Witch just to pull him into her mind and then kill him.
We don't know that.
Trap. Yeah,
that we don't know.
So Legoland's next point, which I think is very good. I do think the heel turn is out of character. Every movie, plus for a whole show, she does something bad and feels guilty and does her best to make amends. Where's the growth? I agree with you, except that's also basically the construct of this movie, right? At the very end, she has that guilt moment, and she does what's right to make amends. So it's like, I know I'm still torn on it, because
she's dealt with a weird kind of loss, though, because she's been in love with a robot that has died twice in front of her. It's weird stuff that you can't really process. You just kind of have to go, what is loss like? What would loss be like times 2? And then you multiply it by her kids, and that she is so alone. She has nobody.
Not even that. Think about her childhood. I mean, she grew up in a fucking war-torn land. Almost buried alive. She gets taken by Hydra, and they manipulate her into giving her like these powers from a stone. and then every time she seems to find a little bit of happiness or good, it just gets ripped away from her, and just her whole reality.
Loses her brother. Yeah.
And it's all violent. It's like Quicksilver dies violently. Vision dies violently because of her, and then because of Thanos, and then her kids are just gone. Like all she hears is their voice, and she dreams of them every night. I mean, that's just got to be horrific. And she's the strongest person. I mean, the Avengers are scared of her. Vision's the only one who would be with her, and she can even sense that fear.
Yeah, it's good.
But nobody seems to be scared of Doctor Strange, and he's one of the most powerful too. See, that's the other thing is it's weird. Is like they treat her differently than they treat him, but he obviously can go bad in a lot of different dimensions.
Well,
how is no one
how powerful she is? I mean, it wasn't until was it House of M you realize, oh, she can convert reality. No more mutants. It's because she goes through all this shit, and then after 12 years later, they have the thing where basically they're fighting Onslaught, and the heroes become evil. The villains become good, and she does this whole thing where she's like, I'm gonna they don't realize the extreme of her power levels. I mean, she's below Franklin, and then so now this is just kind of showing like she's not just a telepath; she's a master of all reality and chaotic magic. So it's a whole new level for people to understand.
I'll bring back Leonard Kim's question in a minute. I just want to show this.
Yeah, I had the same thought there. They go in.
Wreck the Ultron bots pretty like she just obliterates any Ultron bot.
But does she not associate those also with Vision? Right? Like it seems like that's a complicated.
Yeah, it's really
metaphor.
Really weird. But I want to go back to Leonard Kim's point. Yeah, so if the Darkhold corrupted one, turned to evil, it should do the same for Strange. Yeah. And I think they planted the seed for that, right? With that weird CGI creepy eye in the middle of his forehead at the end of the movie.
So creepy.
But are y'all reading Doctor Strange?
the Strange,
like I just finished Jason Aaron's run where he gives him the third eye, and it's all Chris Bocciolo art. So the perspective is he sees every level of magic in the world. He sees like things that are attacking people that is just like depression and all these different sicknesses that these characters that are floating around us that we can't see that he can see. So like the next movie, I'm wondering if they're going to adapt that third eye into him seeing different versions or different levels of magic in front of us. I think the Jason Aaron run does take away magic for a while, and Baron Mordor is one of the few people that has a lot of magic.
I do. That was another thing that when both Mordor and Strange fall in that weird pit moat thing that they have. Strange is able to get out because the cloak comes to get him, right?
Yeah.
No. He actually he parkours up the side after hitting.
Isn't Mordor wearing the boots of whatever? Why didn't he parkour up?
I know. It's that whole scene is kind of weird because I'm also sitting there thinking, wait, they seem to have this pit in the room so that people that walk in can't get to the Illuminati. Yeah. Dude can fly. Like, what are they? What exactly are they protecting against here?
Well, they had the handcuffs that
true,
power suppressors, and then when he switches it and puts it on Mordor, and they fight. That was pretty cool.
I don't want to go full cinema sins on this movie, but I mean, it's just funny, right? Like it's those things that happen when you make a comic book movie. Like sometimes logic has to be kept at bay a little bit. Now, I have one question, and maybe we can leave this as a question for the episode, and then we can keep talking about the movie. There are 7 seats in the room because Charles brings his own, but overall there's 7 members. So we never find out who the other member is that's not currently there.
Do they not say? I thought they said someone wasn't there.
We only meet 6 of the Illuminati, right? But there's an empty chair at the end, and we know it's not Strange's chair because he was replaced by Mordo.
Right.
Which the scene where they killed 838 Strange, I was like, oh, this is finally some really good inhuman shit happening. Like he just whispers, "I'm so sorry."
I'm so sorry. I know that was great.
Having Black Bolt do it, like. Oh man, really good stuff. I'm glad Anson
That's
Mount.
just the right amount of Inhumans we need.
Yeah, Anson Mount getting a bit of redemption for that awful.
Yeah,
episode.
exactly.
I didn't
Exactly.
if I don't watch the show, that's how bad it is that I don't even
Hey,
want to watch it.
I at least gave it a shot.
No, me too. I checked out episode 1 and I was like,
No, I
nah,
checked the
I'm
whole
good.
series. I watched
Oh,
everything.
really? Oh my
Yeah.
god, Kyle.
You poor bastard.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I wanted to give it a shot. I just at the time nobody really knew what was going to happen, so I wanted to go through and just at least.
I have a
fair
question,
chance.
and this is not related to that. Does Karnak ever get his powers back? Because he has really cool
Yes.
powers, but they get
Yes,
taken
yeah.
away
No,
via
he
rock
gets
to
it
the
back.
head.
It's his whole thing is more of a mental thing. It's not. He doesn't really have his powers taken away. It's just he has like a mental like issue, like concussion. That's kind
Yeah,
of
he gets a
breaking up from
concussion.
doing the geometry he needs to actually make like the cracks and dents. he
Yeah,
needs.
I love it. I love that
I
stuff.
actually love the comic book version that they did in the movie more than the TV version. Like I love the suit and the the fork.
That's
and
what
sometimes-
should have been in the TV show. It should have been him with that full.
Yeah,
fucking thing.
things sometimes need to look goofy as shit because that's what we want to see, right? Even if
Yeah,
it's
they're
goofy from the
space
comic.
royalty. You know, you got to make up weird rules.
Do you guys remember? And this is again off topic, but at the end of the Wolverine, the second Wolverine movie, I think it was he gets the yellow suit,
Yeah.
and then we were like, finally, we're gonna get the yellow suit in the next movie, and then we got Logan instead, which is also a masterpiece, but not the yellow suit, unfortunately.
I mean, I hope they someday tell those stories, you know, but we're not going to have Hugh Jackman to tell them.
Well, no, they already announced they're working on an Inhumans TV series for Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's you take away their powers because you can't afford them. That's why
If
they
it's
also
going to
cut
Disney Plus,
Medusa's
and-
hair.
If they decide to continue going the same direction they went with Anson Mount in the movie, and they make a TV series for Disney Plus, I think we might actually get the Inhumans we should have got that was on the bastardization that was on ABC. You know,
Well, we'll
ABC,
see.
so.
Anson Mount is busy doing Star Trek stuff. So
I was going to
but-
say,
well,
yeah.
I know they're
He'll
trying
have
hard in the
time.
comics because there's an Inhumans Eternal X-Men crossover right now.
Yep.
And
it
that just seems
it's
No,
like
no.
It's
Eternals,
Avengers,
Avengers,
X-Men.
Avengers X-Men. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Inhumans haven't been seen for a while in the comics, which is worrisome for Inhumans fans.
That's really bad when your TV show obliterates the comic.
So we'll see. I like that Marvel's like, oh, screw you, Fox. We'll stop printing X-Men. We'll stop printing, these comics. We'll just make the Inhumans the X-Men, and that did not work out.
Nope.
All right,
but then Fox screwed that pooch by making terrible X-Men movies and terrible Fantastic Four movies. So it's like
it wasn't so much that they were terrible movies. It's just that they call them weird names. They should not call them the names that they think they did.
Fan Force.
So all right, Fantastic. So can I go on 2 quick rants?
Yes. Go for
Okay. The first one's not really a rant. It's just I want to throw props to some of the kind of set design of this movie. Did anyone else notice? I love this personally. At the very beginning, when you get Spanish Doctor Strange, right, and America Chavez, when they're trying to get the book, the set of the book looks like it's from the ancient Maya. And then later on, when they go, it's a very different, like kind of like, European fantasy sort of thing. I like that nod that like in different universes, the set design of it changed.
I want to play off of Josh's comment here. And the fact, this is where I want to know when we're going to get this certain character. So, Wong tells her that the book's at Mount Wondergo. Or where's the High Evolutionary?
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you've been seeing some of those photos from the set of Guardians 3, you may have your answer. That's all I'll say. So go Google it if you want.
Damn. All right.
Yeah,
so
isn't it?
We do see a man with the head of a rabbit and a man with the head of a warthog. So, you make that what you...
Isn't the guy who's playing High Evolutionary, wasn't he in Peacemaker?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I just wanted to see if the casting was...
Give it a Google, Kyle, once we get off the show, because I think you'll be surprised.
I know we're officially getting Adam Warlock, so that's at least one plus.
Yeah, who's playing him?
Do we know? It's the guy from We're the Millers, the kid.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Good. Man, that dude's everywhere these days. Yeah.
He did Bandit.
All right, so yeah. Well, and he did the Dope Sick too, didn't he? On Hulu. All right. Here's my rant.
Your other rant, yes.
My big rant. So this movie finally cemented for me a problem I've been having with Yeah, thank you. With the MCU since its inception.
Can I take a quick guess?
Sure.
Is it the required homework before the movies?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not, actually. No. Okay. It is the fact that so many of the movies have had really, really good composers for the scores, right?
Yeah.
Alan Silvestri on Cap. You got Danny Elfman on this one, right? Tons of really good composers. Name to me a single score that stands out to you from any of the MCU movies.
Oh man, like Tony's death, the Avengers theme.
Avengers
Tyler
theme
Bates
is
does the
good.
Guardians theme.
Okay, so
Just
maybe the
handful
Avengers
of-
theme.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, right? All of us in our brains right now, if I go Danny Elfman Batman, if I go Superman theme, if I go, like these are iconic themes that resonate, stick with us. And honestly, sorry, Danny, the only good thing to come out of Man of Steel is that score.
Wait, me or Elfman? Are you talking about? You say sorry to me or Elfman?
Yeah. Well, but
Danny Elfman's a regular viewer.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in, I just grabbed a water.
That's right. So my complaint about the MCU is that I feel like, and I don't know if it's a conscious decision that they often just want the scores to be sort of background fodder, but like I as you guys know, I was kind of hyped because I'm like, Danny Elfman doing this, I'm gonna get like the Mondo vinyl. Well, I played the soundtrack on Spotify, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I don't really care for any of this. I mean, it's not a bad score.
No,
it's just everything is just sort of like bland when it comes to scores, and I feel like they're just missing opportunities.
They've had less movies, but I think the the DCU universe soundtracks have better scores than the Marvel ones.
I totally agree. I completely agree, and I do not like those movies.
Outside of the Guardians, but those aren't necessarily scores we're getting. Those are the fucking soundtracks like James Gunn are putting together. And again,
yeah, exactly.
I would say, Josh, the vinyl might be worth getting if it contains the music battle at the end.
Right. And all right. We haven't even talked about that yet, but
so that was a thing that was done in the reshoots apparently. And
that makes more sense then. Really? Because we left and my wife was like, what was up with the weird out of nowhere music battle scene? I'm like, I know. She's like, is that even their powers? I'm like, I have no idea. Like, I don't know what happened. So
I really love that. I thought it was so cool, and it's like the most fucking Sam Raimi thing to do. Other than
that's true. Yeah.
Other than blowing somebody's head off or something, it's like
I thought the most Sam Raimi thing was having a character inhabit a dead body of that character, and then have that character be like the primary character at the end. That was so wild.
Yeah, okay. Grim Reaper point. Marvel scores are less about music and more about the little stings in the first few notes of the character. Yeah.
But even like I can't think of a single character's theme is the problem. Like, does Cap have an iconic theme? Does Iron Man have an iconic theme? Like, I can't, and you get that from the DC movies, right? Like, Snyder used this to good effect, or maybe Zimmer used it to good effect in Batman v Superman and in Justice League. When Wonder Woman shows up, you get her theme, right? You get these, and there's a term for it in music. I forget what it is, but I feel like the MCU doesn't have any, like, it's just the kind of thing that boggles my mind.
So do you feel that the best music that was used in Doctor Strange #2 was the music for the X-Men animated series because it actually fit
exactly.
Okay.
Yep. Like it kind of, and that's from the 90s cartoon. I mean, it's just like it. I'm constantly surprised. Like the movies come out, and I think it hit me most with Cap because I went into the first Avenger thinking, okay, this is the guy that directed The Rocketeer. And I love The Rocketeer, and that has one of the best scores of a movie, hands down, ever.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Ever. And it wasn't James Horner doing the score, but I was still like, okay, this is going to be great. And I walked out of the movie like, I don't remember the music. Like, what the hell was happening there, right? And I've played it on Spotify before. I've played a lot of the MCU soundtracks on Spotify, and they just all feel really bland. Even down to the fact that I have played the Marvel's Avengers game soundtrack, and it's amazing. It is frankly what the Avengers movie score should have been. It's just, I don't know. I find it very weird.
Yeah, I think Cap has a little ballad when he dances with Peggy, but that's also just a song. It's not really like
Right.
But
Yeah.
I have one Marvel score on vinyl, and I wish I had the second one, but I only have Daredevil on record.
Oh
And-
yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got.
And
that.
I wish I'd gotten it. I thought I had. I forgot it. What was the Defenders? I thought the Defenders had a freaking phenomenal soundtrack too. And
Yeah,
Now,
I do have that
we-
Mondo album.
But here again, the Netflix shows have great soundtracks. Like I think of like Marco Polo. I think of The Witcher. I think of like those. And to me, that's more because those are not, in my mind, MCU things. I mean, they will be eventually, right? Because
Well,
we
they
know
are
they're
now,
gonna bring back
officially.
Daredevil. Right.
Yeah.
But like the MCU specifically, I don't know. I'm a big score person. I like scores of movies.
I have friends that give me grief because I buy soundtracks more than I buy like actual like artist albums.
Oh, same. Yeah, absolute same. So, but I don't know. I mean, I'm seeing Grim Reaper in the chat kind of go to bat for them, and so I'll go back and re-listen to them. But I just find it weird that we have this expansive universe of Marvel movies and no scores that seemed, to me at least, to seem iconic.
I agree, Josh, because I have in my Apple Music, I have a playlist of scores for reading, like when I'm reading comics and stuff. Very little Marvel stuff, but there's plenty of DC stuff. Like I do want to wrangle us back to try to close it.
Yeah, sorry.
So let's. I do love one of the. Let's talk about the last fight with the evil Doctor Strange. I forget what he's called, because they all have their little names, so they can put out a toy. But I like that Sam Raimi's like, if I show you a cadaver in the first act of the film, we're gonna bring it back at the end of the movie.
Is it Raimi's cadaver? Is the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do like how, I mean, that was honestly dark at the beginning. Like, oh god, we're just looking at dead Doctor Strange. This is a little unsettling.
The implication that he may have other bodies just buried throughout, like Greenwich, the Greenwich Village or whatever.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But in the trailers, when we saw an image of Strange with the little cape of like those ghouls or whatever they are, like the souls, like I was like, is that Nightmare? Is that like, are we getting Nightmare in here? But it wasn't. It was just Zombie Strange with whatever. I don't want to call them Deadites because they're not. But I mean,
that is just the coolest look right there.
Oh, that was so awesome. I know.
I love it. Christine had to remind them, like, hey, you control the spirits, by the way. And I guess here's a little bit. Here we have Raimi's Chekhov.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. Chekhov's gun.
Drums of the Serpent. Yeah, he corrected my Chekhov's gun comment from earlier. So.
So you guys did you guys enjoy the fight at the end, the musical battle? And no, Josh?
Yeah,
I didn't. It felt so out of left field. I mean, it was a cool concept, but I don't know. It felt really out of nowhere. Like, why would these two Doctor Strange fight over music? I don't know. It's like
that's what was available to them at the time.
True. Okay. No, that's fair.
So yeah, I think we're at a good point to kind of start drawing conclusions, and there's probably a lot more. Yeah, like a good comment. No corpses were wasted in the making of this Raimi film. I like that a lot. I was talking to some friends, and they told me like the plot of Revenge of the Sith is very similar to Wanda's motivations. Like Anakin's motivations are very similar to Wanda's motivations. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But I can definitely see the parallels, and there's probably somebody out there with a whole essay telling us why. But overall, I really like this movie. I really enjoyed it. I want to talk about the first end credit scene and the implications of the future of Doctor Strange. But I don't want to not talk about the second end credit scene where we see Bruce Campbell finally, after being spelled for a couple of weeks to hit himself. Bruce Campbell plays a pizza ball salesman on the street, a street vendor.
Sounds gross.
What? No, those look amazing. I want a pizza ball.
I do not want a pizza ball. I
shouldn't eat a pizza ball, but I would definitely try it. If there was no health implications, I would probably try the pizza ball.
I only liked the second end credit scene because it kind of made up for how lackluster his cameo was in the film itself. Like I didn't find it funny. I didn't find it a good use of him. But then throwing him back in at the end was, I thought, really great. And it plays with the whole idea of the requisite end credit scenes, that these movies have to have. I like Raimi kind of like snubbing his nose at it.
It's
so
very similar to the first Spider-Man movie.
I was thinking that too.
Up,
yeah,
right,
Cap shows up. Yeah,
patience. It's about patience and
yes, that's so good.
But so at the end we have we do see Doc Strange. There are consequences, at least for now, for using the Darkhold. Even if it's for a limited time. But then Clea shows up, which it was probably Marvel's best guarded secret.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, I agree.
Because Charlize Theron showing up as Clea, like that was not in my bingo card for 2022.
Yeah.
But it makes
a member of the Fast family.
Yeah, after I saw that, I was like, it makes sense because the comics have pivoted over to Clea being the Sorcerer Supreme on Earth, right? If you're not reading, go read the Strange book. I think it's really great. So yeah, it's really good. Hold on, let's see. Grim Reaper says, and the fact that Bruce gets punched by himself in at least one other Sam Raimi movie.
do what you're good at.
Exactly.
Listen, as long as Sam Raimi's making films, Bruce Campbell will be in them.
Yes.
And the world's better for it every time.
Really. But do you guys have any last thoughts or theories, or where are we going with Strange? Like, what would you like to see in the next movie?
I feel like the Jason Aaron run that I just finished is heavily gonna. I don't know why, but because I know they're using Love and Thunder in the next Thor.
Mm-hmm.
His Strange is very like, I don't know, like I'm reading like all of Jason Aaron's Thor, and it's like cinematic and widescreen, and the art's unbelievable. And then his Doctor Strange is more compact and kind of just this weird world. I mean, like if it was a film, I think it would be like a Terry Gilliam film. It's just everything in the background draws your eye more than what's in the foreground. There are many layers to what you're looking at.
Do you think the conflict and the reason Clea needs Doc Strange is because something's killing the magic in the dark dimension, and that's why she needs him?
Yeah, I think we've seen the dark dimension magic in Moon Knight. Harrow uses it with it's all the purple magic, and I believe the purple magic is also what Agatha has in WandaVision. So they're drawing magic from a dimension that I think is going to come looking for them, or it's going to have consequences for what they're doing, and they haven't realized that yet. So I think there's something that will come for Agatha. Because she's pretty powerful. She seems to be one of the more powerful, or the most powerful witch next to Scarlet Witch in MCU magic. We just don't have that many other magic characters to compare yet.
That's true.
And it's really, we haven't had a barometer to see how powerful Wong is either.
Yeah, I mean, there's really she's kind of the bar, right?
Yeah, and Wong has pretty much maintained the he's defended the Sanctum Sanctorum. He's brought during the portals, he brought everyone he could from all the different places around the world, all the different warlocks and stuff. Like there's a level of power we don't know about Wong that I'm curious to see, and we might see that in the third film. I know his arc in Jason Aaron's run is they hire a librarian, because what happens is as magic starts to disappear, someone's destroying the books. There's a dimension where this character is created that's made of pure science, and he is the best, strongest, and so he wants to destroy everything that is magic. And there are other weird shit, like there's a character that's made up of all the Doctor Strange sadness and despair. That's just this giant black creature with like teeth and eyes and just a kind of a mannequin face that comes out to talk. There's lots of weird, like I really, really dig Jason Aaron digging into Doctor Strange, taking away magic and then making him just a character and trying to deal with this shit.
I will say I hadn't really thought about it until I saw you on the until I saw you on the notes. Put that you read both of those things together. It's funny that his magic story is like somebody's destroying all the magic. His god story is somebody's killing all the gods. So like Aaron likes to go to those extremes. But
Well,
yeah,
he strips away who the character is and
Yeah.
then tells you who. I mean, like, in Thor, he does it on 3 different levels. He takes a young Thor, Avengers Thor, and old Thor and tells you who they are at that moment. So when he strips away the magic of Doctor Strange, he's telling you what can Doctor Strange do when he doesn't have magic, or he
Right.
just has so little. What can he do with it to make it better?
surgery. He can perform surgery.
No, he can't. His hands.
Well, in the comics, his
It's not
hands
his
are
first
healed,
time,
so he can't.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's not his first time without being magic. I mean, there was a time during like the New Avengers run where he became a new Avenger, and and Brother Voodoo became the new Sorcerer Supreme because he was limited to the magic he do. He's more like he can do little spells and kind of martial arts, and that during that time. So they've explored that realm of him not being the Sorcerer Supreme before.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else? Otherwise, we're gonna close out the talk for Doctor Strange. We will keep talking about some of the stuff, but for the audio listeners, thank you for listening. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast as you're listening to this. If you want to watch the full version of the show, where we talk about comics and TV and movies and stuff we've been watching and all that stuff, go check it out on our YouTube channel, Next Issue Podcast. Just put in that on YouTube. So yeah, thanks for listening. Now let's move on. Let's touch on real quick before we get into our stuff. I feel like we need to talk about the She-Hulk trailer a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What did you guys let's quickly
I don't
talk
get
about
what all
it.
the hate's going to be about. I mean, everyone's just saying because she's not built like a rock because she looks bad. I'm like, oh, get over yourselves.
I will tell you what I don't like from the trailer, and it is the sitcom-y type premise, like, oh, how hard is it to date being a woman, but now I'm a woman and I'm big and green, like.
I'm okay with that. This feels like
I'm okay
a
with that
John
too.
Byrne. I'm okay.
Yeah.
It feels like a John Byrne run
it
of
feels like
She-Hulk, and
some of the
I'm
other
great
ones
with
we've
that.
had.
Yeah.
I mean, you could. I mean, if you're going to be sitcom-y, then go full sitcom and do like a 3-camera shoot with a set and make it
probably
look
will.
like.
They already announced they're going to break the fourth wall.
Oh, so this is going to be their fourth wall? Okay.
Yeah.
This is definitely their comedic show. I do like that. I mean, they changed the name, right? It's She-Hulk Attorney at Law. That's the full name.
Yeah.
But I like to call it She-Hulk Avocado at Law.
See, I just keep calling it She Birdman Attorney at Law. Like I just
Okay,
There is one thing I really like: the fact that I was really happy when we get Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. He's no longer in that damn cast. He's fully healed back to full Hulk, and I'm like, oh, thank you, God.
Yeah. They'll have to explain that. I'm very happy. I mean, I love Tatiana Maslany, so like I'm really looking forward to see what she could do.
Well, and the fact
Yeah,
that
if you haven't seen Black Orphan, man, watch her work in that, dude. She is awesome.
No, have you guys seen the picture? Frogman's in the series.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Frogman
You've actually
shows
seen
up
the picture.
in
I'll have to find it. Yeah, Frogman is in the series. Hold on.
Yes, exactly.
Hold on.
I am there for Frogman.
Hold on.
And I think Tim Roth. I mean, having him come
Tim Roth's
back,
back,
do
yeah.
Abomination.
So I watched the trailer with my daughter because they're both hyped for it, and then I saw Tim Roth pop up, and we got done. We're both excited. Turner said, "Well, I think we're gonna have to watch the Incredible Hulk now." She's like, because it's like, I mean, we've never seen it. It's the one movie she skipped when she did her MCU rewatch. I've never watched it, and it's just like, I guess we're gonna have to watch it to like get the Tim Roth aspect. So.
All right. Well, chat's telling us it is definitely hard to date when you're green. Thanks,
I just put
Kermit.
the link in the chat.
Yeah.
But I really like it. I mean, I think my only I'll call it quibble because I like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that the CGI is fully done, and even if it is,
exactly.
like,
I hope not. Yeah, it had a weird like very oh my God, I am so excited by this. That's amazing.
We get Frogman.
But yeah,
Why does it look like a Power Ranger costume with just headlights on the top?
And why is he kind of ripped? I mean, Frogman should have my body, frankly. I don't understand.
Let's see what happens. But still, the fact we're getting Frogman in this is just amazing.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Maybe Frogman works out,
Are we going to get the Frogman story from Daredevil, though? Y'all know that story?
No.
Oh, my God. It's a story about this kid who grows up who's the son of Frogman, and he sees Daredevil attacking his dad, and so it develops what idea of what he thinks Daredevil is, because he always sees his dad as the hero.
Oh,
It's a very jacked up episode issue, but it's drawn by David Mack from the kid's perspective. So you're in the kid's mind. It's a fantastic issue. Bendis and Mack on Daredevil.
My first 2 intros to Frogman was a Marvel team up where it's Human Torch and Spider-Man take on Speed Demon. It's like 1982 or 83. And he puts on the costume. And he's just being this dumbass bouncing around, ends up saving the day by landing on top of Speed Demon. And the next one is basically, this is late 83, 84. It's the Defenders run when Beast, Angel, and Iceman have joined the team. And they're at a college making an announcement. And this one villain called the Walrus comes in. He takes the costume from the old Beatles cover. And he comes in, and you have Frogman, who's trying to make a name for himself by joining, helping us stop the Walrus. And so they're about to let him join the Defenders, but his dad comes and says, "Come with me! I can't believe you're in that damn suit." And just pulls away by grabbing the mouth of the suit, and just hauls his ass home. And the Defenders are just like, "Okay."
That's awesome.
Well, if you want more Frogman, you can read the current Iron Man run by Christopher Canwell and Cafu. If you want more She-Hulk, there's a Dan Slott run. There's the Charles Soule, who is also an attorney, so that's plenty of
the original John Byrne.
You can go to the original John Byrne. There's plenty of She-Hulk out there. I think people like different ones because she's such a character that you can really do a lot with. I'm not a big fan of her portrayal as the Savage She-Hulk in the current Jason Aaron Avengers run, or at least prior to that. But I love the new She-Hulk series by Rainbow Rowell. I think it's amazing.
Being the She-Hulk she's supposed to be.
But yeah, I think all you have to do is find the She-Hulk that you like and then dig into that one, because I think there's plenty, like I said, it's a character that lends itself to a lot of really different stories, whether it's heroics or more grounded stuff in the law.
I sort of like the new run just because they brought back Jack of Hearts, and he's always a character that kind of likes.
Yes, all that.
Yeah.
The implications of all that. And then I haven't read the previous run where he's in, but they do a lot of really good exposition explaining like their relationship and how she helped them, because he just absorbs energy, right? So like she was only one of the only people that could be around him because she has more than enough gamma exposure to survive that or whatever. So really cool stuff. I mean, the comics are always great, and I think we always want to make sure you guys go read the comics from this stuff after watching all these movies and shows. So I'm excited for that. We're gonna also get apparently a Thor trailer tomorrow, so maybe we'll try to do a live stream. It's supposed to happen during some sports game, basketball, something's going on.
That's
Boo, sports ball.
So maybe we'll set up a live stream like we did
during halftime of dodgeball.
Yeah. Halftime at the chess match. All right, let's get into our previously on segment, and I think we all have a few things to talk about. So let's just go around, do a couple at a time, and then we'll get through as many things as we can. So prioritize is the name of the game here.
All right. I can't prioritize shit. No, it's
so Clay, let's kick it off with you, and then we'll just go around the horn. Clay.
Comics wise, I mean, like I said, I've just been invested in Jason Aaron stuff. So I read the first 12 of his Thor run. So you get the God Butcher story, and dude, I don't see how they're going to translate that to screen. I don't see how Christian Bale's going to look as evil as Gore does in the books. But goddamn, that is such a good run. And again, it's up there with Simonson. Like, this is modern day. This is essential Thor to me. Like, I don't know. I feel like you guys, once you read it, you'll think the same thing. But it's just, it takes all the history of. It takes something that happened to Thor when he was younger, when he first met the God Butcher, and discovers, what he's doing. So you get all these different versions of Thor. Like, Jason Aaron just plays with time, and it's all fun, and it's all beautifully laid out. Like, the art in it is so fantastic, and even they only changed the art one time, and that goes to Butch Geis does the origin of Gore. So on his home world and how he becomes the God Killer, or the God Butcher. It's the only thing that changes, and I love that because I love to stay in that art through the entire run. When you get to 13, the next story, it's Ron Garney, who's just as good. It's a different look, but again.
That's where the Malachite story begins, right?
Yeah.
The interlude between
So
cool. Yeah,
and then like I talked about, his Doctor Strange stuff earlier, like that stuff is so fantastic. And I think the third eye is going to be him. We're going to see a lot of weird shit in the next film. I feel we're going to see it from Doctor Strange's perspective, that there's stuff that we don't know about that's haunting us that he has to fight. And I don't know how they're going to pull the look off if they adapt this. But this is just what I'm guessing at, just with the way the third eye showed up in the last film, and with the current books and looking at the way that they're kind of going from like Love and Thunder to the films, why not adapt another Jason Aaron story and throw it in Doctor Strange, because it is weird as hell, but it's so fun. Like that's the thing about his books. They reach in and they pull up a ton of lore and they make it as fun as hell.
Nice.
That's cool.
Josh, what do you got for throw us one or two things?
I'll throw two at you, kind of going back a little bit. I've got like 3 weeks of comics. First off, and you guys probably talked about this one. I read Nubia Coronation Special.
Yeah.
Which was I loved it. I thought it was great. And I kept contrasting it in my mind to the really awful Amazing Spider-Man jumping on point that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. Because this is clearly a book introducing a character, following up on a set of stories I didn't read, but I never felt lost. I never felt like it does a really good job of explaining what's happening, of very subtly introducing characters and relationships. The art is amazing. I really loved it. It was just a great book. I really dug it. So that's one from a couple weeks back that I read, Nubia Coronation Special. I guess I should name the creators. Stephanie Williams and Vita Ayala were the writers. Marguerite Savage, a whole bunch of artists. Colleen Duran, which I'm always here for. Daryl Banks, Joe Thompson, Aletha Martinez. Just really, really good. Wow, and then, anyone else read that, by the way?
Yeah, I read it. We have
read it? Okay.
We have a video on the channel if anybody wants more details on that, but I really like it. It's definitely a good recap of what just happened in Trial of the Amazons if you didn't read any of that.
I didn't.
So it's a good starting point, and then it'll kick off a few Wonder Woman things with Nubia and then following Diana and stuff like that. So
nice. Okay. And then because I keep waxing on about it, Guilt issue 2. God damn, I love this book. It is so good. So I raved about issue 1. Issue 2 came out, and it just keeps getting better and better. This is the Guild of Independent Lady Temporalists. It is such a fun, acerbic book. And the thing I love about issue 2 is where issue 1 seems to be setting up a story that's very individualized. Something happens in this issue that just blows wide open what's happening as more and more shit hits the fan. It is a fun book. It's a thoughtful book. It's really great. Go check it out. Guilt issue 2.
Nice.
Really, really dig it.
All right, Kyle, give us a few things.
Read the new Savage Avengers #1, which I thought was pretty interesting. How they bring.
Okay.
I did that too.
Together, yeah. And I think this
so
one
good.
is. I kind of like the fact it's Conan's still in our universe, so I just
it's so weird.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. Till the end of the no spoilers, but
I'm more likely to read Conan in our universe than I am going to be him to read his normal books. I'll be straight up honest.
Same.
And then I like the fact you got Black Knight, you got Weapon H, you got Elektra as Daredevil, you've got
Anti-Venom.
Anti-Venom, yeah.
And so it was just to kind of see where they're going with it. And then I read the Thor #25, which is a continuation of the Hulk versus Thor. And in this one, you've got Odin and Banner inside of Hulk's head, just kind of going back and forth and trying to find out what happened. You realize that Banner killed a whole bunch of people, but it was because they apparently I'm still trying to figure the story out, but I think it sounded like his rage. He wasn't becoming the Hulk, but he was either somehow people became irradiated green beings, or he was affecting them, and he ended up killing them and just all that stuff. And then there's a sequence where all the Avengers are talking about what's going on, and then you just see everyone's saying we got to go stop the Hulk. It's we can't do this, Tony. It's I don't think you understand. I don't have to ask permission. It's Tony, are you here? It's Cap, you should know by now. I've never been here. And he just takes off, and this huge new suit of armor that he's made from celestial technology. So he's about to land.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and then all you see is him just shoot something down. His Hulk, we need to talk, and it's just like, now he's about to enter the damn battle. It's just like, where's this going?
I love that because Donny Cates set that up in issue 1, and then I
Yeah.
just fucking forgot because the stuff that was happening was so bonkers that I completely forgot. But then they referenced it in the last issue. They referenced it here again, and I'm like, oh yeah, what the hell happened in New Mexico? Like, so
Yeah.
very good. Cool. All right, let me show you guys. I'll just show you the comics. I won't really talk about them because you guys can go check out the videos. Well, the audience can go check out the videos. You guys are welcome to as well. But yeah, I got a couple of Savage Avengers. A couple. I got the Thor. I got this cover though instead of the main one. I really like that one.
Nice.
Just because it has better Ray Bill. X-Men Red, fucking amazing. I love this stuff. The Brotherhood is back, so I'm really excited about that. I got a couple of these Elektra, Black, White, and Blood.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Peach Momoko did both covers, so I kind of have to pick them up both. I haven't read these, X-Force 27 and Wolverine 20, but I'm still picking up all the X-Men books, as you guys know. Chewbacca and Han Solo and Chewbacca. If you want to know why Greedo and Han don't get along, you got to read this miniseries.
Yeah.
Is it A, is it good, and B, does it explain the whole Greedo shot first thing?
I like it. They haven't gotten there yet, but I like
Okay.
it's about there's let's just say they bring up their old drama. Or
Who's
they
writing
find
it?
out what's going on. It fills in that backstory. My favorite thing this week though, New Mutants 25. It's a new jumping on point. This is also a Vita Yellow comic, from Wonder Woman, and it deals a lot with magic, as you can see in the covers, and then also Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen. So I had to pick up a few of these books, but it's really good. But you can check out the video for all that. I got the Catwoman. They reintroduced the character from the animated series. I think her name is Red Claw.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I read about this. Yeah.
And then this is the AAPI variant that DC is doing for this whole month. Very cool. I don't read the Vox Machina series because I'm not but this is a Tula Lotte cover, so I just wanted it because I like her art a lot. And then still reading Nightwing.
Of course.
Once again, the AAPI cover because Nightwing's sister is, I believe, she's half Asian. And then this new book from Image called "Fuck This Place" or
Yes.
I hate this place, depending on which cover you got.
Oh wow.
I got the uncensored cover.
I think the actual title is "I Hate This Place."
Yeah.
But I almost got the one you got. So.
But it's
What do you
really
think
good,
of
right?
this?
What do you think, Josh? What do you think of the book?
Is it
I
about
loved
Texas?
No, it could be. So it's I described it as if you took the show Ghosts and actually made it super creepy. So it's like a young couple inherits a ranch and they move in and they discover there is this weird like bunker under the house with like video like seasons of like old TV shows on VHS and stuff, and they're like, what's going on? And then at night they get attacked by a bunch of like zombie ghost things, and when they finally go down in the bunker, they put in one of the videos that just says "Watch me," and they get the whole explanation of what's going on.
Yeah, the rules
it's
of
great.
How to survive. So
Yeah.
really good. It looks cool. I love the art in it, so very much.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's what Kyle Starks and Artyom Topolin.
I don't know how to say that name.
Yeah.
I'm not reading King Spawn, but Javi Fernandez did this sketch cover.
Whoa.
And it looks super sick.
I saw that.
The normal cover looks great too with the colors and everything, but I don't know. I love the sketch covers because it even looks like the little paper. And then last but not least, Vault is reprinting my favorite series, Heathen, in like this new, really nice deluxe foil format.
Oh, nice.
And then this week, if the collection came out for all 12 issues of Heathen, Vault sent me the PDF, so I got to reread it all. But I really wanted to get the collection. I really love this series. I think
how much is that book?
This book is only $24.99.
Oh, that's not bad.
It looked thick. I was like, oh man, that's probably a $50.
Yeah, $24.99. It contains 12 issues of the series, and a whole bunch of back matter, cover art, all that stuff. Really good, really good. So yeah, if you guys in the chat and not in the chat, if you guys in the show want to read it, let me know. Vault sent us a preview.
Cool.
But yeah, it's really cool and I really love it. And comics were really good this week, and I'm very excited. So all right, Clay. Now that I've babbled enough about comics, what else?
I picked up one of my favorite toys this week.
Hold on a second.
I have dabbled with whether I want to give this to my nephew, Mr. Colin, but the Thanos copter came out from Loki, and I just
that's amazing.
I think it's one of my favorite things. So when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, I got to have this." And then Shelby was like, "Are we getting this for our nephew or for you?" And I'm like, "I'm not sure yet." So,
right, exactly.
So I said, when he can explain the Thanos copter to me, I'll let him have the toy.
That's amazing.
Other than that, like Friday night, Joe Bob did The Last Drive-In and did a double feature of Nosferatu, like the original silent film, and then the Werner Herzog remake. And I had never seen either one of them, and they are fantastic. I mean, it is really. I recommend Shudder just for the Joe Bob commentary that helps you dip into this and tells you a whole lot more about the vampire lore, the books, to the film and the film history. Like he goes into everything, and it's fantastic. Like I really love like Shudder's worth a subscription for just Joe Bob alone. That's honestly the best part of Shudder. And these were films I had never seen before. We hadn't finished the Klaus Kinski version, but we're going to go back and go through that. And dude, I Shudder, probably one of the best subscriptions I have of all my services, just because of the quality of stuff. And I love the live things. The live events are just the best.
I don't know if you're the only person that watches movies from the 20s, but
oh no, I do. I love them. I watch them all the time.
I like that.
You
can't finish Moon Knight, but you'll watch a movie from 100 years ago.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Again, it's the art historian in me. I
get it.
You give me old shit, and I'm there. So
yeah, Shudder's great. Shudder's great.
Yeah.
I get it every once in a while, like every quarter or so. I get AMC Plus, which includes Shudder stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Every little once in a while to catch up on some stuff.
The other stuff, real quick, I watched the Julia miniseries that was on HBO Max about Julia Child and just the beginnings of cooking on television, and it's really good. If you're a big fan of Cheers, it has Bebe Neuwirth as in there, and oh my God, who played Frasier's brother?
David Hyde Pierce.
David Hyde Pierce plays Julia Child's husband.
Oh wow.
And they're just the scenes of them together are incredible and fantastic, and seeing them develop TV from scratch is the best part, because nobody thought this was going to be successful. And the main reason they thought it was a success was they would get letters. People would handwrite letters to the television station about how good this was. And it's like, we got 24 letters. Like that was huge. That was just a showing of like, we'd never gotten anything like this before. So to me, that was the aspect I loved the most about it. I hear that it's getting picked up for a second season.
That's cool.
And also another show that's getting picked up for a second season, I believe, is Our Flag Means Death. I finished that. Wow. Just took a turn. I don't know why we couldn't watch it all at once, but we watched it in 3 sections, and it definitely changes after episode 4. So if anyone's watching it and you're like, wait a minute, this feels like a total shift, stay with it. Stay with it until the end. The ending pays off, and it's just like, where are we going to go from here?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, and I was really excited about how it ended. For my podcast, Unsocial Spectators, I watched Animal House, and I have like tons of books and knowledge on Animal House, and could talk about this for 2 hours. So
a little bit louder now. A little bit louder
now. A little bit louder now.
See, I've seen some old stuff.
You've seen some old shit.
Oh, good Lord! I was alive when that came out.
Wait! You were alive? You're still okay?
I was. Yeah. I mean, it's not wrong.
It's no Nosferatu, but is it? It's kind of weird.
And the last movie I watched was The Northman. the Robert Eggers film. Holy shit. After spending 12 issues in Jason Aaron's Thor, then going to watch The Northman, so goddamn good. Like I still have problems with The Lighthouse, but I'm going to revisit it after seeing this. The Northman just had my attention the entire time. It is just nothing but blood and drama. And Ethan Hawke is in the beginning of the film, and like Shelby even goes, I don't think, like she kept going, are you sure that's Ethan Hawke? It's not that guy? And I'm like, no, that's Ethan Hawke. Like he's so good in it, and just for the handful of scenes he has.
Was he like in there all 5 minutes? That was it's like one of those DVDs. It's a name grab just to get you to go.
No. It's not a name grab. It's for story's sake, and it's
okay.
I mean, like if you enjoyed him in Moon Knight, he has more of those great one-on-one scenes in this, and I mean, just fucking fantastic. So
there's if you, I guess I'll pitch it like this because after doing some research on the movie, I was like, wait a minute, this story seems familiar. Well, apparently this story is the Vikings, the Norse story that inspired William Shakespeare to write Hamlet.
Oh, okay.
So then you you probably already kind of know the story, but it's way different. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, dude, spoilers.
Fucking, what's his name? The Skarsgård, whatever Skarsgård plays this, like he's just fucking jacked as shit.
Yeah. I think he's what's his last name?
Skarsgård. I think it's Alexander. Prime. I think it's Alexander Skarsgård, the one that played Carson.
Yeah, and he's huge, man. And like he has these like incredible scenes with Anna Taylor-Joy that are just like, and they only have a few moments of scenes together, but they're always so goddamn good.
And he's always like hunched over, like just really imposing, and he still looks amazing. Yeah, it's really good. I also really like Robert Eggers for the most part. The Lighthouse, not my jam, but The Witch, and like that, I really love The Witch, which also has Anna Taylor-Joy. So completely.
Yeah, The Witch was my jam, dude. Like I just was sitting there in the theater, just totally on edge, and just everything he put in that film was fantastic. And this is on that same level.
Nice. All right, Josh, hit us with something else.
So I got a few things. I'll try and go through these pretty quick. First off, from this week, excellent issue 3. Am I the only one reading this?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I got the first issue.
It's worth continuing.
I need to read issue 2. I haven't read issue. I haven't read issue 3 yet.
Yeah. So it's a you know a Peter Milligan, Michael Allred jam. I mean, it's great. The art's good. The story is very contemporary. This one I have to give it props. I saw the cover and I'm like, oh, they're just trying to like shoehorn in Doctor Strange because of the movie coming out.
Yeah. Which
they do. But it still works in the nature of the story. That's all I'll say. So go check it out. Am I also the only one reading Spider-Punk? Because goddamn, this book is great.
I'm reading Spider-Punk. I haven't read this one, but I am.
Yeah, I haven't read it either. I read the first one.
Okay,
yeah,
go read it. It is it is such a fun book. It is so fun, and this one has a really good inclusion of something that is probably, let's just say, it kind of refers back to Thanos' copter. That's a really broad reference, but just bear with me. So
it feels like that book is made for the Gen X generation, almost.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I got this cover because I'm like, oh, dude, how could I pass up a cover like this? You know,
it looks like a zine.
It looks like a zine. Yeah, it looks like a show poster from the late '80s, early '90s. You know.
Yeah.
And then just 3 more real quick. I'll go through them quickly. This one kind of ties into my recommendation this week, but I picked up Heavy Metal Elements Starward issue 1.
Oh.
Mainly just because I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like I hadn't seen Heavy Metal do like monthly comics before in this format. This is the same size as, you know, any.
Last year was their first year, I believe, of doing comics outside of their quarterly publication.
Okay. Well, here's what I find really interesting about it. First off, this book is great. It's like, it's really, again, it's fun. It's basically this idea that the main character is one of several kind of sort of like astral beings who are part of this, like they have these powers of different sort of stars, but she doesn't know it. So she's just like a college student working at a pool during the summer when she regains her powers. But what I find fascinating about this is that it clearly was published in a magazine format, because every page has to format it with this weird bottom, because it's not formatted to this size page. And I was just like, this is very weird. I mean, it doesn't really disrupt anything, but it seemed odd. It's like they're clearly shoehorning it into this format.
It's a waste of space.
Wait, what? I'm sorry.
I almost wish they had made it magazine size, like a Black Label title.
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't know if that's just a cost saving thing, or if it's because they don't want it to seem like something other than a comic book.
It's weird because they kind of have the same format for their covers too, that like take up to like they put heavy metal in front, and then they kind of have everything within that space in the middle, and they don't utilize the full cover for art. Like, to me,
like here, you mean?
Yeah, like the way they do all of their covers are just that style. And it's like, the art should be selling the book. That's the reason for the cover.
True, although I will play devil's advocate. I really like this format because it's a distinctive kind of branding their books have, and it does help this stand out on the shelf. Like it popped out immediately at me, So this is written by Steve Orlando, kind of stalwart 2000 AD writer, and art by Ivan Shavrin. It's great. I really enjoyed it. Super fun book.
Josh, quick spoiler for your recommendation. I don't know what it is because it's not on the notes, but I think Clay gave it out last week.
Oh, did you use the Humble Bundle? All right, I've got it back up. Don't worry. Yeah, so I was just going to say, what's so weird is if you want to read this and not buy it, go get Clay's Humble Bundle from last week, because it includes this issue. And it literally came out last week, so I find it very odd. I don't know if maybe
it's a reprint.
There was a Tarnia book. Tarnia, the character who's in the Heavy Metal movie, like she was Stephanie Phillips was doing a story with her that we ordered the hardback for already. It's part of that Humble Bundle. So like the digital copy is available before the hard copy's coming out.
Yeah, I know. I find it very weird. So this has a copyright of 2022. I kind of wonder, and I'm purely speculating, if this was released in Europe first and we're just now getting it in the States.
Makes sense.
So I don't know. Thanks for the heads up, Daniel. Okay, so also I'm still reading Boom's Alice Ever After. This is the cover I got.
What a beautiful cover too.
Yeah, that is.
It is. It's gorgeous. Yeah, it's a really gorgeous book. It's kind of hard to see, but if you look in the foreground, the Mad Hatter and the White Rabbit's heads are sort of out of focus.
No, that's the hair, right? Isn't it the?
Oh, it is. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. It's a great book. They're using the two different artistic styles well. It's the kind of book that is modernizing and in many ways making more adult this story without it being something that kids could not read. Like I could hand this to Hazel, no problem. It never fully goes over into like, oh, that's very mature, Unlike another book, hang on. Sorry. Let me grab it real quick.
He's got his special porn hidden.
I'm looking through the notes and I'm trying to figure out which book it is that he's talking about. Oh.
All right. So, and this is why I'm so fascinated by Marvel's use of Conan. And then this line, because I did not know they were going to do this either. This is Ablaze, who is also doing the comic adaptation I talked about a few weeks ago of Robert E. Howard's Hour of the Dragon, which is the only Conan novel that he wrote. They released this book, Bailet and Valeria, who are two kind of pirate queens from but two separate Conan stories, kind of combining them into one. I've never read Max Bemis, who wrote this.
Oh,
this book is very different from the Hour of the Dragon in the sense that it is
batshit crazy.
It's batshit crazy and raunchy as hell. There is
Max Bemis.
I don't know if this is going to get us cut or not, but
Ablaze is a subsidiary of the Cheesecake Factory.
I'll just say,
go ahead. I don't think so.
But it's not Dynamite is the thing. It's not like so. For instance, one of the characters, Valeria is being captured, and the bad guy tells her how much this wizard like finds her attractive. So she just basically flashes him.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's just, I'm like, oh my god, this book is just like, I read it twice because
I thought that was Power Girl's superpower. She would just flash them and then knock them out. That's why she had the opening on her chest.
Josh,
Right, exactly.
For the art.
Yeah, the art is great. The art is by Rodney Buscemi, not related to Stephen Buscemi, I hope, or maybe so.
That would be awesome.
It would be awesome. So anyway, it's just fun. And what's cool is they include, like they do with the Hour of the Dragon, where they actually are including the actual text at the end. In this one, they include Robert Howard's Hyborian Age essay, which was just like a little 4-page thing he wrote up on his own to kind of create the world, the backstory as he started working on the Conan stories.
Bro, no thanks.
You can skip it. It doesn't tie into the comic at all.
It's not like Hickman's or Karen Gillan's that they put the text right in the middle of the book.
Right? No. You could just totally, like, you get to the end, you're like, I'm not reading that. And then finally, just the last one. I picked this up on a whim just because it seemed like very sort of fantasy related. A comic by, I've never heard of the CEX publishing, called Past the Last Mountain #1. This is the alt cover I got. I Want You for the Uprising. It's an interesting book. It's basically, it kind of combines like, what if you were in a contemporary world where fantasy creatures existed, and the fantasy creatures are the minority, and so they are the ones rising up in this world against the humans. It's an interesting concept. My only complaint about it is, like, you know, they sort of sold it as, for $5.99 you get 48 pages of story. I'm like, well, that's cool. The actual issue is only like 20, like maybe 20 pages, and then the rest are just like short little 2-page vignettes by other artists, which is fine. But I didn't really get a sense this was adding to the story at all, the world, right? So I don't know. I was a bit torn on it, but it's an interesting concept. I'll give issue 2 a spin just to see. That's kind of, I'm discovering now as I read week to week how long I'll give titles, except Amazing Spider-Man. Fuck that shit. I am still mad that in every Marvel issue I bought this week, there's an ad for I think it's Amazing Spider-Man #4, but it's the 600th issue, and I'm like, fuck you guys, right? Like, come on, either shit or get off the pot. All right. So anyway, sorry, still angry.
Kyle, what else you got?
Let's see. A couple of weeks ago, actually, I went before and I saw. I think I told you guys they did a screening of Monster Squad for
No, I didn't hear.
Yeah, so Frightmare did a special screening of the Monster Squad where they had the cast in attendance. So I got to go. A friend of mine bought me a ticket, so I got to see that Sunday night.
Oh, cool. Dude,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. I was lucky enough to get. They're not the greatest pictures because the lighting was bad, and I didn't want to. They were already waiting for their rides, but I got pictures with the guy who played Dracula, and then also the guy who played the black cop that gets killed in the car. Through the movie.
Those screenings are great, man.
They're awesome. They're awesome. And before that, I stopped at Half Price Books and decided to go on a small shopping spree. I ended up back in '98. Star Trek, or Marvel had basically tied in with Paramount to do a bunch of Star Trek comic books. So you had a different run that was all based on the movie. So you had, hold on, let me see if I get this right. Star Trek, Starfleet Academy, which deals with Nog leaving DS9 for a little bit to join the Academy. Star Trek Untold Stories or Untold Voyages, which deals with the 5-year mission between the motion picture and Wrath of Khan. So this is the 5-year. These are the missions that happened between those two films.
Oh, cool.
There was another 5-year mission that Kirk became captain before he took over Admiral again. And then I picked up a whole bunch of these Star Trek Unlimited, which are stories dealing with the original cast and the Next Generation cast. So it's a lot of fun to see what they were trying to do at the time. But this was doing when Paramount was still big and they're doing Voyager and they were about to go into Enterprise and stuff like that. But just a lot of fun reads with the Star Trek comics.
And those have never been collected in graphic novel form.
Not as I remember. Not as I know. Yeah. But this is also the run, which still has made one of my favorite comic book crossovers ever. 2 of them. And they actually went into a novel. This is when they did the X-Men and Star Trek crossovers, which led into that novel, which was fantastic.
Great.
And then one more I got is last week. Let me put I think I've mentioned it before, but I want to put the website out there. Have a few friends who, if you're in the Dallas area, my friends Lon and Ruby own a not a comic book, an anime store at Music City Mall down in Louisville. What used to be Vista Ridge Mall, and they had a couple of friends that were out there. But apparently, the comic book, they have a comic book they've kickstarted called Never Ender. I was able to pick up issue 1. But you can also they have they put the link and they I think they're doing Kickstarters for each of the issues, but I can at least put the link here in the chat.
Oh, that's
so that's Anime Yaniki.
We'll tweet it out.
Oh, wow.
Dude, that's a real nice store.
Yeah. And there's actually another anime store right across the thing from them. So there's 2 there, but they each deal with different merchandise. So they actually play off each other. And then
cool.
Yeah. I went to visit them last week, and then basically they're going to be doing like different stuff. It come October, they're going to be doing apparently they're doing it for free in one of the old the upper stairs locations where they had Dallas Comic Show. They're going to be doing their own independent comic and vinyl pin show come October.
Oh yeah,
that's cool.
So
very cool store. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go there with my daughter.
Oh, it'll be perfect for it. It'll be perfect. Both places. They're friends. Each one tries to help each other out. And what's funny is this used to be the old oh god, what's the shoe store?
My boys.
Foot Locker, Champs.
No. It's the ones that always did like Doc Martens and
Journeys.
Yeah, this used to be a Journeys kids store.
Oh, nice.
And what's kind of cool is this is right outside of where they have the Asian supermarket and like shops and everything, right? And where the department stores used to be. So you can, if you want to go get some Asian food, they have like a food court downstairs, great huge supermarket. They have a pool hall, arcades, and everything. But yeah, this is upstairs, right around the corner from it. So
do not touch the Shinigami, all right? Cool.
That's awesome.
I
see on the notes you got the Shonen Jump app. Did you read anything cool?
Yep, that's well. I'm getting there. I only purchased it I downloaded and purchased the thing last night, and I'm finding a lot of stuff I'm going to be reading, which will probably be my previously on coming the next couple of weeks. Because Marvel and DC are starting to lose me with some of the stuff. So I found out there's one in there called Zip Man, which is based sort of like on the whole Kamen Rider kind of stuff. There's another one called Bakuman, which is dealing with 2. It's an older series. I've read a little bit, but basically 2 high school students who are trying to become manga artists and creators. They got the original Dr. Slump, which is one of Toriyama's earliest mangas in there and everything. So yeah, I'm going to be probably talking a lot more about manga in there in the upcoming weeks.
Yeah. Bring us a reading list from that app, because I really want to find some slice of life stuff.
For $1.99, the stuff you get access to. Oh my! And this is me. Hold on, I'm not even on my laptop. I have an iPad Mini. So hold on. Let me just. And the interface for this is actually really fucking phenomenal. It's actually
it's got to be better than Comixology.
It's like holding
anything's got to be better.
Yeah, it's like holding a little taco one.
Yeah, and you just yeah. So like here, let me just I'll just Doron. Let me see. Come on, here we go.
Yeah, and because guided view is not needed for manga.
Yeah. And of course you got to go the right way. You got to go right from left, but. Yeah, but it's worth it for $1.99 and the access of the comics you get. This is where I'm going to be talking about a lot of my stuff from.
Awesome.
Okay, good. I need some recommendations.
Oh, God. You'll get them.
All right. I got a few movies, but I won't go into detail with everything. First, I watched there's a fan film on YouTube called Batman Broken Promise. It's an animated film. It's like 15 minutes long. It's pretty interesting.
Wow.
It looks really cool.
That's cool.
Then I watched 3 movies on Netflix. I watched The King with Timothée Chalamet and Robert Pattinson. It's about the life of Henry V, I believe. Oh. It's really good. It's a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. I watched what's his name? Alex Garland's new movie, Men.
Yeah, I saw that you were not a fan.
Fucking hated. I hated the experience. I don't think the movie's bad. I just hated the experience of it. It's not my. So the main thing I got out of this movie, I think I'm gonna wait for David Cronenberg's new movie to watch it at home, because I feel like I'm gonna need to step away for a minute and pause it.
Yeah, I could see that.
This was that was the same with this. Like I feel like I really needed a break from it at some points. It's so stressful, and there's just like it gets really gory too. Like it's not the normal type of horror or the normal type of Alex Garland movie, right? I like his movies a lot, Annihilation and Ex Machina, like stuff like that. I really like.
Yeah.
This one is I don't recommend it just because I don't want to put anybody through that stress. But if you want to watch, like it, but I think it's a good movie. It's just
I love that the experience, not the movie, the experience bothered you.
that
makes me want to watch the movie.
In my Letterboxd review, I put I would rather watch Morbius again than ever watch this film.
Okay.
That's saying something.
Like Morbius was bad, but it wasn't stressful. Like it didn't make me feel like anxious and stuff. But the performances are great, and like I said, the movie looks great because it's Alex Garland. Like he's a great director. So weird stuff.
What if you had to watch Morbius next to Jared Leto and then tell him your opinion after the movie?
Let's do it.
You would rather do that than watch this movie again?
I like Jared. Only if he shows up dressed as the Joker.
Oh God, man! I don't think I could handle that.
Mr. Leto, keep your hands to yourself, please. Then as a palate cleanser, I finished watching a movie from Hulu called The Valet.
How is that? I keep seeing ads for
really
it.
charming. It's really charming and endearing, and it made me feel really good about myself afterwards. It healed me from the other movie. And the last thing, which I highly recommend, I watched Chippendale Rescue Rangers on Disney Plus.
That was on my list too.
Really, really fun. I loved Chippendale when I was a kid.
I need to watch this.
Yeah,
it's good. It is super fun.
Kyle,
I've heard great things.
To make you feel good, I think this movie will have a similar effect.
Okay.
It's funny, there's just so many surprises. I'll call them. Josh, I know you saw it as well. What did you think?
I did. I loved it. It is it's the perfect movie to throw. It's only like 90 minutes. Yeah. You throw it on. Okay. It's I think I described it in the pre-show as it's a PG rated movie that adults and kids can enjoy, but it doesn't dumb itself down or make itself too mature. It finds this perfect like balance between the two.
No. My friend Robbie showed me a picture. Apparently, there's a scene in there where they're at a convention or something, and they actually have Alan Oppenheimer voicing Skeletor again at like some autograph table. It's like, oh my god!
There are so many callbacks, and I will say this about the film as well, because I don't. When I see something that I suspect is technically difficult that a film pulls off well, I like to call it out. Mm-hmm. The choice to combine not just animation and live action, but what appears to be, although I'm assuming it's rotoscoped, but hand-drawn animation and CGI for almost the entire film is really stunning. The fact that you have Dale as CGI, Chip as 2D animated, and live action backgrounds, and that works throughout the whole film seamlessly, I think is a technical marvel that a lot of people are not pointing out.
There's other stuff. I think there's a little bit of claymation in it.
There is. Yeah. J.K. Simmons character.
I didn't see anything like anime style animation. But I could have missed it. But there was
some like in the crowd shots. You saw some.
I may have to go back and rewatch just some of the big scenes to try to look for the little Easter eggs and cameos and stuff.
Yeah, my favorite cameo, because there are just tons of stuff in the background. Like I didn't pause it, but same thing. I'm gonna go back and do it. My favorite cameo, and this is for people our age, is there is a party scene at the beginning, like a nightclub scene, and the characters it zooms in on before it zooms away to the rest of the crowd are Paula Abdul, and the cat from her video.
Yeah.
MC Scat Cat?
Yes, they're DJing the party. And I was like, you see MC Scat Cat first? And I'm like, oh, is that? And did you see Paula Abdul? And I'm like, holy crap, they got her. Like,
Are they singing Opposites Attract?
I couldn't tell.
Because it's weird if they could afford
Paula Abdul, but they're doing the dance at least. I'm pretty sure they're doing the dance. They're not on stairs, but they're doing the dance. So I was blown away by that. I was like, holy crap, I can't believe. I mean, there are all these like little references that if you don't get, it's fine. But it's handling references like this well. If you don't get it, it doesn't impact anything. If you do get it, well, I take that back. There's one big cameo that you kind of have to get the joke about, but they explain it to a certain degree. So, and that's all I'll say.
Yeah, unless
okay,
you
like check
really
this out.
Yeah, unless you hate the voice of Andy Samberg and or John Mulaney, I think you're gonna have a good time. So
I had no problem with either of them, and it was great seeing Tress McNeil apparently comes back to play Gadget.
Yes.
So the voice is authentic. Yeah, it's cool. It's very cool.
Cool. Yeah, and that was everything I watched. I also watched an anime called All Out, which is a rugby anime. So now I'm an expert in rugby. The only problem is that season 1 doesn't cover everything, and they only made one season. So now I have to chase down the manga. But unfortunately, it's a Kodansha, so it's not on the Shonen Jump app.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
I know. I immediately checked Kyle after the anime ran out.
You know, do check. Well, actually, I'll go check for you because I know Kodansha does a lot of humble bundles.
Yeah, I'm gonna check my previous humble bundles because I bought a few manga ones. And then I'm also gonna check. I'm gonna keep tabs on Comixology because they do sales a lot with Kodansha manga. So we'll see. All right. Does anybody have anything else before we move? I have one more thing, but I'll just move it to Rex. Okay, good. We'll finish up with Clay and then Josh.
Okay, real quick, just because we've been talking about Conan and Robert E. Howard, have any of you seen The Whole Wide World?
I'm watching it right now.
Okay,
it's free on Plex, and I remembered as I was going through, I was like, wasn't there a movie about Robert E. Howard? And so I watched in fits and pieces. So I'm like halfway through it. I watched a bit more last night, and I'm trying to suck Jen into it because Cross Plains is right near the town of Brownwood that her dad lived for a long time after he retired. So
yeah,
but go on.
So,
sorry.
Oh no, that's a lot more than I had because it just stars Vincent D'Onofrio as Robert E. Howard. You know, telling these Conan stories and where he was as a writer at this moment in Texas. I believe it's in the 1920s, and his co-star is oh my God,
Renee Zellweger.
But yeah, if you want to go back, it's a 1996 film.
Yeah,
and you said free on Plex.
Free on Plex, yeah, that's where it's. I mean, and it's not like someone else's server. It's like in the free movies on Plex,
free stream. Yeah,
cool.
So I've seen it and I recommend it. If you guys have never seen it and you want to know more about the author of Conan, this is a great story.
Nice.
Prepare to be depressed. Yeah, I was the last thing I was going to bring up, and I'm not through the whole season yet, but I've been watching the Kids in the Hall revival on Amazon Prime, which, Clay, I'm sorry, I tried to look for a way to just buy it for you, but they haven't done that yet. Here's the thing I am so impressed about with this so far is the first episode. I've watched the first 2 of 8. The first episode does a really, really good job of reintroducing the kids in a way that if you're long fans of it are just wonderful little nods at it, right? So like, I don't want to do anything, but the opening scene deals with brain candy, and I laughed my ass off.
Oh wow, that's a reach back. So if you're not a fan of Kids in the Hall, their brain candy was what 1999 film.
It was
earlier than that.
Earlier than that, yeah, it was like maybe
96 or 97.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And it just deals with like drugs that are supposed to help depression is kind of the plot of the film, but they're just sketches that piece the whole thing together.
But I will say it doesn't deal with the plot of the film. It deals with the reality of brain candy as a Kids in the Hall vehicle. Okay. And so what's cool is in the first episode, they go from that directly into an original sketch, although it seems to refer to some older characters, but you don't need to know that. And by the end of that sketch, you realize, oh God, first off, they are not going to ignore the fact that they're in their 60s. They are going to double down on the fact that this is Amazon Prime and they can do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
Do not watch it with young children because it is incredibly R-rated. All right.
Yes.
And But what I love is their humor is still there. It's fun watching people like Mark McKinney, who today I associate more with things like Superstore, step back into these types of roles that he played back then. And again, just how seamlessly they're all doing it. It's great. Episode 2 I love because it's a lot more original sketches that feels like watching kids originally, right? You weren't always like, I guess what I'm saying is I like the fact that this wasn't a chance for them to just revitalize every popular character from the show. They're just making new Kids in the Hall. And it's going to be a lot of original sketches, that same kind of humor. They're kind of doing a new thing I like, which is instead of like 30 Helens, it's Friends of Kids in the Hall. And it's a little way for them to bring in famous people. So the first one is Pete Davidson. And then the second one is Catherine O'Hare. And just amazing cameos. So yeah, so if you've got Prime, it's free. If you've got it, go check it out if you're a fan of the kids. I've been really impressed how well they've done. So
nice.
Good.
Yeah.
I want to see it, but I don't want to give Amazon money, so I'm going to wait for it to show up elsewhere.
I totally get it. Yeah, I get it. I was like, I'll just go buy it for Clay. But of course, because it's on Prime, they don't sell it. Like, you basically have to get Prime to watch it, which kind of sucks. So
cool. Yeah, I was surprised. I've never seen Kids in the Hall, but I was like, is that Glenn? Like in the little preview that I saw?
Yeah. Oh God. I don't know what to tell you. I feel like you shouldn't go watch the new Kids. You know what? Go to my Plex server. I've got the entire original series on my Plex server. So just go. You don't even need to watch all of it. Just go watch it in fits and starts. So
yeah, I mean, it's like SNL. Some sketches will hit, some won't. But
exactly.
It's funny and it's really weird. I mean, it was really alternative comedy for the time because we just didn't have anything else like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
One last thing before we go to recommendations. I just got this in the mail and I'm very excited because it's awesome.
Like right now?
Like this morning.
Ooh, nice. That's a beautiful cover.
Yeah. Cool.
Who designed that? That's amazing.
I don't know, but it's really dope. So I got my Batman Steelbook, even though I mean, we can watch it on HBO or whatever.
Can you flash it up here again with the code? I'm just real quick. I just want to.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah, now I'm gonna have to go edit that out. Great.
I don't think it wasn't up long enough.
Yeah,
it didn't focus. So it's fine.
That's a great looking steelbook. Fuck,
it is.
Recommendations here. I'll kick us off while you, because I'm already talking. So the first thing I want to recommend is a book that I read for book club with some friends. It's called Mamo by Sass Millage. It's a young adult book about witches, and it's really cool and it's really fun and it looks gorgeous inside. It's from Boombox, I think, which is an imprint at Boom Studios for young adults. Really fun. And then upcoming for the week, Batman Fortress. This is a really.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, there's an invasion. Something's coming. The electricity's out on Earth, and Batman needs to figure out what the fuck's going on. Yeah, Josh.
Well, I was gonna say I was going through my pull list earlier today because that's what I do before the show, and I almost picked up that one, but I chose not to. So I want to hear what you think of it.
Okay.
I also do want to point out there is an alt cover next week of Moon Knight by Rob Liefeld, where, and again, he hides the feet. So I will never miss an opportunity to bring that up. Rob Liefeld cannot draw feet. It's just rain, so there's no background.
You didn't hear from me, but this one's pretty good.
Oh, you've already. Oh,
yeah.
All right then. All right, fuck. Well, then I may have to grab it off the shelf.
Full review on Tuesday, but I'll say that. And then of course, Legion of X, because this fucking book is weird, but it's Cy Spurrier writing it. Yeah. And he picks like the weirdest character. I mean, you can kind of see from the cover, but there's more. David Haller's a big part of this book. Legion. So yeah, of course it's gonna be fucking insane.
Pixie.
What's that?
Was that Pixie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and the cover Pixie, and then there's a few more people I don't want to spoil because they hadn't shown up because they hadn't been back. So yeah, cool stuff. Clay, you want to go next?
Yeah, I did the Kickstarter for Mystery Science Theater, and they are doing their latest season online through their Gizmoplex, but you can buy certain movies. And I wanted to bring up the trailer for one of their upcoming movies.
Oh yeah, shit! I should have left you last. Let's do it.
Well,
Let's do that last then.
Okay, we'll do it last.
Okay, I can go next then. So I've got two actually. The first is, and I'll share my screen if that's all right.
Yeah.
Share. I always have a problem with this. Sorry, I always have. Okay, let's do. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay. So there is a Humble Bundle called the Battles of Yore Bundle. For $13. For $13, you get the really, really good Pathfinder Kingmaker game. It was the first game that came out by Owlcat. You get it plus the 2 DLCs for it. You get a game called Gordian Quest I've never heard of, but I'm super excited to get Field of Glory Empires right here. It is a grand strategy game that looks really good. Plebby Quest I've played a bit of. It's kind of fun. Ember is one I'm excited to get. I've never heard of, but I looked at the video for it. Crossbow Blood Knight also looks really good. And then finally, Tyranny is a game by the creators of Pillars of Eternity that came out and kind of like just went under the radar. But it's a really cool concept, which is it's a fantasy game, a fantasy RPG set in a world where the bad guys won. And so, yeah, so like what happens when you have to play in that world, right?
Oh, nice.
So anyway, $13, you get all these games. They're all on Steam. Definitely worth getting and checking out. I will pause it here for any of you three. When I get this, I already own Kingmaker, so if anyone wants this, let me know, and I can give you the Steam codes for it.
I've got Kingmaker too, so
yeah, I figured. And then my other one, I was at Barnes & Noble the other night, and this was on their sales shelf. And I've been meaning to get it for a while. So I finally got it. And as you can see, I'm only about a third of the way through it. It's Roy Thomas's The Marvel Age of Comics. And it's the one put out by Taschen. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. So again, like, it's kind of, there is like an essay portion of it. I'm just in like the second here. It filled with just absolutely beautiful like art, and really I'm trying to find a unique example. Like he talks about like strange adventures with Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah,
and just really focusing on like Ditko's like developing style for Doctor Strange.
Oh wow, that's got to be awesome.
It's a great book. Here's my only complaint about it. I feel like either Thomas had written a book with more depth and text that got cut for this Taschen book, or something went wrong in editing. And the reason why is because he references stuff in here that he never explains, that I only know because I've read other histories of Marvel. So for instance, he talks like he makes a reference to how, like right at the start of the chapter I'm in, it's like right in the late 60s at the dawn of after the initial creation of the original characters. And he leads with Marvel, despite the fact that Marvel could only release a certain number of titles, they found a way to unite the universes together. Well, he never explains the fact that what he's referring to is the fact that Marvel, to survive, had made a deal with DC's distributor. And part of that deal was they could only sell, it was like 13 titles a month. Like they couldn't go beyond that, but he never explains that. And so it's like, if you read that, you're like, what does that mean? There's little moments of that throughout the book that I'm just like, is this an editing error? Or is this like he wrote a bigger book and then Taschen bought the rights to it and Taschen wanted more like pretty pictures? I don't know. Okay. So it's a mixed bag. I'm basically at this point reading it more for just the imagery and the stuff. I would say if you want to read it, get it, but read, God, what's his name? Sean, the guy that wrote Marvel Comics, The Untold Story. Read that book first and then read this one. So
I believe it's Sean Howe.
I think you're right. Yeah, it's Sean Howe.
Okay.
So Anyway, it's a weird wreck, I know, but it's a beautiful book. If you just want to look at the pictures, go through it. It's great. So,
Nice.
Well, just the outside of the book looked awesome.
yeah, it's awesome. It's all silver. Yeah,
Foil. I love it.
yeah.
Kyle, you got anything?
Gray Hulk.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, let's see if I can do this. A couple of figures I want to talk about. Let's see if I can share my screen.
Let's see. Yep.
Sure. What? God damn it. Yes, share.
You got to learn to share a computer. There he is.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, there we go.
Okay, so one is... I know.
We entered the multiverse.
The multiverse.
Okay, so that was showing.
And again.
Okay, so Marvel Legends series 60th anniversary.
That's cool.
Yes,
Japanese
I did see
Spider-Man.
this.
Oh my god. I don't remember
That
what
looks
these figures
amazing.
are, but I got to get this one.
Yeah.
Damn,
That is
that's pretty
awesome.
cool.
I just got to get this one.
I saw the
so
webbing
cool.
and that one picture at the end that had all the webbing on it that I was like, that's just so TV accurate.
I know
I wish-
$27.99. I'm just like,
It's-
okay.
I
It
wish
says
came-
sold out already.
Yeah.
But I bet they'll be appear in some
There'll
stores.
be
or
more
something.
waves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I just
all
got
right.
the pre-sale sold
I'm
out.
hoping. I'm hoping.
I wish it came with an attachment so you could put it on your wall and then just
I
let it
know.
spin. Like just
Yeah.
in the show how he spins.
Tell me if you turn the character around, you see the zipper you get that goes up right at the
Oh, that would
end.
be awesome.
Oh, that would be just the best detail.
And then this one is sort of for Josh. I found this at Walmart.
What the fuck is that? That's an oh whoa. Why is he all
Yeah.
Bigfooted?
I don't know, but it looks pretty good. This was at the Walmart over
That's
here in
cool.
Charleston, so you might want
Okay.
to look at your local. I mean, it's Rocketeer. I want to pick it up myself.
Yeah, totally.
So it looks like a VHS, but it's a action figure
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly.
Oh, that's cool. Huh.
Neat.
Yeah, I'll have
They,
to.
they
I'll
use the old clamshells to put the. Oh, that is a great way to use those old VHS.
Yeah.
Nice.
I do have to point out I found this at Target, and I have such a weird affinity for the Phantom. I don't know why, but they have
Nothing wrong
these.
with that.
Because he looks dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and he comes with a skull he holds in his
Yeah.
hand.
Oh,
Well, no,
fuck yeah.
That's
the
cool.
figures at Target, like they have a couple of different Flash Gordons, but they have a Flash.
Yeah,
Gordon
Flash
that's done in the vein of the Filmation '79 animated series, and it's like I
What-
almost want to get that.
I know, and those came out first. I've been eyeing those
Yeah.
for a while. This one came out, and the box is different. It's the
red.
King.
It's red box. It also has
It's red.
The
Yeah.
Flash Gordon that comes with that one. I'm not too big on.
Yeah, I'm not either. But it's called King Features the
Yeah.
first superheroes, I think.
Yeah.
And what's weird is I was just going to buy them on Amazon, but you can only buy them as a 3-pack for like $150. I'm like, no, I just want the Phantom. So I went back and tracked it down. So
I want Mandrake the Magician. Just one.
he's supposed to come out. He's on the box. So
I know Josh and Clay remember this. Do you guys remember the old cartoon Defenders of the Earth?
oh yeah.
You know who wrote that song, right?
No.
Stan Lee.
Of course.
Wow.
I kid you not, Stan Lee, Defenders of the Earth.
Music
It's
video.
so weird too, seeing the news this week that he's gone back into business with Marvel, and I'm like, why? How is Stan Lee back in business? This is just
Oh.
the worst corpse digging I've ever seen for companies to make that big kind of announcement, because
It's Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is taking over the body. You know, it's just
Doctor Strange taking over Stanley's. That would be breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
You know what? There is here. It's right here.
of course you bring it up to me. That's gonna...
So here we go. All right, this is the photo on this page. That's Kirby on the right. Do you guys know who that is on the left?
Stan.
That's Stan.
No, that's a young Gene Hackman.
And yeah, that is
It looks
that
like
is
Gene. Holy
that
crap.
is Stan without his mustache. It's the weirdest thing in the world.
That's funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. To close out the show, because we have run very long now. Clay, do you want to set up the clip that we're about to watch?
All right, so I'm a big fan of Mystery Science Theater. I did their Kickstarter. You
So
can
excited.
Yeah, you can do individual movies if you want to buy, or you can buy sections of movies. But they've been going through a soft boot of their new season, and started with Robot Wars. But coming up on August 19th, they're going to be doing the Batwoman. And for those who haven't seen the Batwoman, I put the trailer in because it is fucking fantastic. So if you don't subscribe to anything and just want to watch that movie live with everyone, it's $7.99. They have other price points if you want to like buy it, keep it, but basically they have their own service now that you can get all the Mystery Science Theater you want in one place. And right now, because they've been working on the app, they have a ton of stuff for free. So I can just go through and watch most seasons and stuff. But I figured the Batwoman is going to be the one that our audience would most connect to. And the trailer is so weird, I had to bring it. So
it looks like this is a Mexican film from 1968 by Rene Cardona. So let's go check out the trailer for the Batwoman. All right. Hopefully you guys can hear this. We'll see. Yes?
Yeah.
Brad Pitt running this.
Surge en la pantalla una nueva y sensacional figura. La mujer murciélago. Una mujer indomable, con un corazón de acero y un cuerpo escultural. La mujer murciélago, campeona mundial de lucha libre, se enfrenta a muerte contra la maldad y el crimen personificada en una banda de asesinos. La mujer murciélago, un mundo de aventuras.
Right out of Fast and the
Una
Furious.
obra maestra de horror y misterio. El malvado ingenio de un científico asesino realiza experimentos prohibidos para esclavizar a los humanos.
¿Está todo preparado, Igor?
Sí, maestro.
Igor.
Como verá, capitán, estamos listos para recibir dignamente a su salvadora.
¡Quieta!
Judo chop. Judo chop.
Prepárate, Igor. Prepárate.
Wait,
Vas a
wasn't his face
presenciar lo
messed
más
up?
grandioso del siglo. ¿Te das cuenta, Igor? Estamos a un paso de la gloria. De las aguas del mar hace más de 400 millones de años emanó el principio de la raza humana al surgir a la vida el primer vertebrado, el pez.
Del fondo del
Oh my
mar
God.
surge el diabólico monstruo que asesina
I know this trailer
impulsado
is the whole
por un
movie.
cerebro
It's a
criminal.
sleeve stack.
La mujer
Yeah, it's
murciélago.
It's a sleeve stack. It's a fucking sleeve stack.
Acción. Crimen.
Whoa, that door! It's so thin.
Straight out of Doctor Who.
La mujer
Yeah.
murciélago. Escenas submarinas de escalofriante realismo como
Oh my
nunca antes
God.
se habían filmado.
How is someone in
mujer
that suit
murciélago.
underwater?
Una película
Get your heart out,
electrizante.
Spielberg.
What the?
I know, this is amazing.
Wow, what is
Un
happening right now?
arrasador torrente de escenas
Acapulco
en Acapulco y
and
Cozumel.
Cozumel.
Oh, I've been to Acapulco.
Armando Silvestre, Roberto Cañedo, Héctor Godoy, Grox Alvarado, David Silva, Jorge Mondragón y Maura Monti como la mujer murciélago, dirigida por René Cardona para Cinematográfica Calderón, Sociedad Anónima.
And we have no idea who any of those people are unless you live in.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my
But-
God. So
I really want everyone, if you can, just to. I think it'd be fun to watch and tweet along. And
I feel like I
all
would just
their
watch the
stuff has been
movie.
great.
yeah.
like,
What's the link to their new site, Clay? Because
I
I'm
put
having
it in
trouble
the show
finding it.
notes.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's before the trailer.
I like that. I like that the what do you call them? Trailers from back then was just scenes from the movie. Like we're just gonna show you a bunch of
We're
scenes
gonna
from the movie.
explain the whole movie to you, and this is what happens.
And
it's
you know,
because she's like the last one listed, but she's the star of the film.
Oh yeah, I mean she's the titular Batwoman.
You know, I do feel a little personally attacked because I also wear a bikini anytime I drive my convertible. So,
so y'all up for the Batwoman?
Oh, dude.
Oh God, yeah, totally. It looks great. Oh, there it is.
I don't even have to,
in front of it.
I don't even have to read the subtitles.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that does introduce a thing. If they're gonna like live do this, are they using a dubbed version?
Probably using a dubbed version. I have seen that there's a cleaner version out there than what I found on YouTube.
I don't want to hear nobody say Igor. I want to say Igor.
Yeah. I like the way he did Igor.
So one thing, the evil scientist dude, his face was messed up in some scenes, and then it
I saw that. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That seems a little spoilery.
Maybe we'll set up I don't know, next issue event, and we'll all try to watch it together.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I got one question for Clay. Have you watched Strange New Worlds yet?
No, I haven't. Just because we did lose Paramount, but I do see that it's on Plex.
No. The first episode's on YouTube.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did say it was on YouTube, but there's 3 episodes out
so far. Yeah, but you can watch the first. You can at least watch the first one for free on YouTube.
Okay. Oh, and I did want to say, Josh was asking about Gamera versus Jiger.
Oh, this is the 1970s stuff.
Yeah, that is going to be the episode before the Batwoman. So the week before.
Oh, okay. Nice.
The Gamera stuff is amazing.
Yeah. So Gamera versus Jiger.
Hold on. Let me make sure. Hang on.
But that will air the episode the week before the Batwoman.
Well, we look that up. Go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. It was.
Oh yeah, this one. Okay.
So Clay, if I create an account on Gizmoplex, do I just use the email I used for the last Kickstarter to get my stuff in, or?
Yeah. Okay. Try that and see it. But because I would browse to stuff, and I hate to say it, but their app is not the best. You can browse to a movie that you own, and sometimes it won't say you own it. But if you browse to like a collection, it'll say you own it because of the collection and not because of the movie. So their database is not the best put together, and they are still working through a lot of kinks. But it is one of the funnest things to tweet live, and I'm just a fan of these guys. I mean, this has been around since the 90s when they just traded tapes to keep it going. Yeah. And now that they've fully funded it with Kickstarter, gotten rid of Netflix, so all the money goes straight to them. They're the ones producing and making it, and it's good to see people getting the money and it not going to like a place like Netflix. Right. We got two great seasons out of that, but they're on here. So if you just want to get them on here, you can buy them. Right. I love those seasons with Jonah.
I just dropped Gamera versus Jiger dubbed into the chat there if you want to watch on YouTube. They got the full film.
Yeah.
And to bring this full circle, on June 10th, they're doing Dr. Mordred, which I only learned from the Alamo Drafthouse pre-show was supposed to be a Doctor Strange movie. So
it's a Doctor Strange knockoff is what they call it.
And it's awful. I tried watching it the other night. I'm like, I'll give it a shot. I got like a third of the way through. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. This is so bad.
I mean, I really wanted to put the Mystery Science Theater trailers up, and then I go and can't find them. They're only available on their app if you have a subscription. I'm like, why would you advertise to people who've already bought it? I want to go to your website, take that trailer and drop it, because the trailer they did was a very fast cut one for Batwoman that was just had some of those scenes in it. You're just like, what the fuck, over and over again. This one was just so slow, but it was the best quality out there. And even with subtitles, it was kind of nice to see what was going on because it explains the whole movie.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, this has been our longest show probably ever. We'll see. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone that showed up. We have Legoland, Green Reaper, Drums of the Serpent, who's look for Drums of the Serpent on Instagram. Great artist. Leonard Kim. Who else we got?
G.
That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks everyone. We really like doing this stuff. Remember, if you want to listen to this, just the audio part without our ugly faces on it, you can check out our podcast. We drop the episodes bi-weekly. And stay tuned for the week. We have we'll try to do the Thor stream tomorrow for the trailer. We'll try to figure something out like we did for Moon Knight. But yeah, that's all we have. I'm just vamping to look for the outro.
Here, I'll dance.
I can't. Thank you.
Oh my god.
Oh, there it is. All right. See you guys later. Bye bye.
Let's ride.
Thanks everyone for watching.
Peter loves you.
Oh yeah. Clay.
Hell, Bebo.
Josh, Simon Center, get the fuck out.